Jumping right out at you is going to be quarterback Michael Talbot, who is also going to double as a linebacker for the Cajun defense. And, when you're talking about small high school football and everybody playing two ways, nothing sings better than a quarterback that plays linebacker as well as quarterback. 5'11", 232-pound senior.
Yeah, and he's got Isaacs behind him. That's a big guy at 6'4", 236. Future probably as an H-back or a linebacker, and talking to Guy LeCompte, getting some looks out there. The other Cajuns down the road in Lafayette taking a look. Tulane has shown some interest. They'll operate split back here with Evan Nunez, a receiver, lining up in the backfield as well. To Talbot's left. Give it away on first down. It's Isaacs. And Isaacs off the left side will get about 2.
Newman open up in their odd front with a too-high secondary, so playing 3 down linemen and 4 linebackers. You'll see them move in and out of that. They'll walk those outside linebackers up on the line of scrimmage. That will give them a 4-man front every now and then to be able to try to confuse the blocking of the Country Day offensive line, as they did just now.
2nd and 8 at the 37. The motion man Gupta to the top of your screen. Talbot will roll, looks to throw. Now he'll put it down. He's got a host of white jerseys waiting for him. He might have got back to the line of scrimmage.
Great pursuit by the white jerseys, led by number 57 right there, Sean Sutherland, 5'11", 205-pound senior, who comes in with 3 tackles and 1 sack on the night. He has a motor. I've looked at a little bit of film on him, and he can actually get off of blocks real well and get to the football. They're going to have their hands full with this defensive line, Country Day will, of Newman tonight. And here comes blitz.
7 guys up near the line of scrimmage there. Now they'll call out of it, and we've got movement up front. I believe that was Ramaj Waiters, the defensive tackle, who came across. And that changes everything there, Wade. You go from 3rd and 8.
3rd and 3.
Now it's 3rd and 3.
Well, that's a lot more manageable on that play card, and I know Guy LeCompte will will like that. And what that does is that brings Scott Isaacs back into the play calling scenario.
Opening series of the game, if you're just joining us. Talbot waiting now, tries to throw, and he's got nowhere to go, and he's brought down. Jack Currents, the senior defensive end.
They brought a zone dog. You know that name because that was 4 plays that were against the Saints last week where they back out the secondary in a zone look, and they're going to bring an outside linebacker or an inside linebacker. In this case, it was an inside linebacker and a twist. They picked up the zone dog, but nobody picked Currents up off the edge. That left somebody untouched, brought more than they could block with, and the result is a sack of Michael Talbot.
Loss of 10 on the play. It'll be 4th down and 13, so the Cajuns go 3 and out on the opening series of the game. Punt is away. It'll be a ground ball that will roll, and finally come dead at the 32-yard line, 36 yards on the punt. And Newman, with 9:36 remaining in the first quarter, will take over on offense, and we get our first look at the Greenies' offense led by the junior, Archie Manning, 6'4", 210 pounds. A week ago weighed 18 out of 34, 258 yards and 3 touchdowns in a win over Vanderbilt Catholic. And for good measure, he also rushed for 48 yards in a score. So he accounted for all 4 scores in that 28-0 Newman win.
Well, he's rushing the ball better now. I think that's also because of what they're doing scheme-wise. So they're running a little bit more of the zone read with them, as well as the RPO game with him, which is what he's going to have to do at the next level anyway. He's going to have to master the RPO stuff. And there's nobody better to get him ready for that than his head coach, Nelson Stewart.
And there he will keep it on first down, gets to the edge and keeps running and steps out of bounds. Let's see, they will mark it right near the marker.
It's a gain of 11 on the play.
They will give him all the way up to, I believe, the 44-yard line on a first down.
Well, that was zone read right there, and as we said, we're going to see more of that out of him, and the RPO game and all of that, and that's going to play right into, like I said, what he's going to be doing later in the future. He also has a pretty solid offensive line up there, with Bo Bordelon, who is an LSU commit. He's number 67, 6'6", 280-pound senior. I tell you what.
The bookend on the other side is his younger brother, Brett.
Correct.
Manning play action. is brought down. Miles Lemler, the senior defensive lineman, gets him down all the way back at about the 31-yard line, a loss of 13.
Arch needed to get rid of that ball just a quick hair sooner. He had the receivers open in the flat. He just kind of pumped the ball. I don't know if he thought that he had to hold on to it. He was going to maybe a second choice or something of that nature. But Limler comes off his block and makes a big play for the Cajuns, and now it's second in a decade.
Second down 22 if you're scoring along with us. Put the ball at the 21-yard line. The line to make, the 31-yard line, I should say, all the way up at the Country Day 47. Quickly out, and he'll go to his tight end, Will Randall, who will get most of that lost yardage back, but Newman's still going to play third and long.
Cajuns in their odd front also, a 3-4 look with a 2 secondary deep. That was a great job by the corner out there on the right-hand side. Maximo Valabra, 5'7", 148-pound senior, who came up and made a nice hit on the receiver right there to keep it at third and long. Blitz.
And we've got movement up front. I'd say it was a hard count, but it's a clap. It's not it's just a question of whether you're going on the first clap or the second clap. But Country Day jumps offside, so much like we saw on the opening drive, third and long, third turns into third and a little bit shorter. Now instead of third and 12, it's third and 7, the ball at the 46 of Newman.
If you look in the center of the field, you don't see a free safety, so your first clue is they're coming with some sort of man blitz here as you see the linebackers walk towards the line of scrimmage coming off the edge right there. There it goes.
Manning will get it out. Got his back, T. Williams, and it's well defended by the Cajuns. We might see a face mask call there. There's swing on the tackle. Got it out to the 50, and it's 4th and 3, and it's early decision time here for Nelson Stewart.
Great play right there by Ben Stassi, making that play coming up and from his safety position. He was man on the back in the screen. Nice job by Manning to get rid of it. Nice job defensively to pull that thing down and put it into a 4th down and punting situation. It looked like Newman's going for it. Well, here comes a blitz again.
Watching the play clock. The play clocks don't believe they're operating, so give it away on 4th and 3. Williams on the carry is not going to get there. He needed 3, got 1. And that was Lemler had the big sack in the middle of the pile there to bring him down.
Big call right there by Nelson Stewart to go for it at midfield early in the game, and it just doesn't work out to his benefit. Great job by that Cajun defense. Those guys rallying to the ball, getting a lot of blue jerseys right there on that run play.
So Country Day will take over at the 48-yard line.
You know, now Country Day is going to have to do something here to capitalize on the good field position after the momentum swing by their defense.
Talbot, that was like a backward pass right there, and it's Evan Nunez on the catch. We're going to call that a run, Wade. I believe it's going to go for a gain of about 2.5.
You're absolutely right. It was a backwards pass, as well as they were blocking out on the flank. So, you know, basically as a pass play, all right, it turns out being a toss sweep, getting it out on the flank that quick right there. But it was only a 1-yard pickup, rallied by the Newman Greenies, getting out there real fast to make that tackle.
That's one of those things, though, that if you keep an eye on it, that could turn into a double pass situation as well. We've got whistles, and
exactly
at the 6-minute mark, we're going to have the hydration break with 5:58 officially. Gives us a chance to tell you the Crescent City Sports Prep Football brought to you by Lamarck Ford and Kenner, and they are back open after Hurricane Ida. Weren't closed for long. The Ford showroom got a facelift even before the storm, and it is something to see. Come see our remarkable deals and service. Stop by or go to Lamarck.com. Our thanks to Ronnie Lamarck. Ronnie Michael, of course, is a Newman grad.
We called him a few years ago.
We did.
He was a fine offensive lineman for Newman.
Yep. Ended up walking on at LSU as a fullback. Got a chance to wear the purple and gold a little bit after wearing the green and white.
Every offensive lineman's dream.
Line up at fullback, no doubt. They all, you know, they think they can carry the ball, right?
I know it was mine. I never got that opportunity.
All right, so we come back after the hydration break. Feels kind of funny having a hydration break with the comfortable temperatures in the 70s, doesn't it? But that's what they do.
Well,
Month of September, you do it. So
you've just got to do it. It's what the Federation rules are,
right.
and we all abide by the Federation rules. Newman's still in their odd front.
2nd and 7. Isaacs, big hole, first down.
Down on the 40-yard line.
Right at the 40-yard line. Isaacs a gain of 9, the best play of the night so far for Country Day.
That's a burst of speed Isaacs is known for. When he gets to that second level, he can outrun the secondary. And right there, they run inside zone. He pops it right through to the second level, and he almost outran the safety.
455 yards for Isaacs a year ago. A quarterback keeper this time by Talbot. Went right behind Isaacs for a gain of about 8 on the play.
Well, let's think about that. You've got Isaacs back there, big tailback, 6'4", 236, and you've got a Michael Talbot, 5'11", 233. It's like a fullback the ball is being snapped to.
Yeah, exactly.
So from that standpoint, you've got the right. Yep. So you've got the perfect combination, and then you put another back into the backfield back there, and you basically have a full house backfield with 3 solid guys. The other guy you see back there,
Christian Daly's lining up almost as a fullback right now.
Correct. H-back.
Quarterback keeps it again. Talbot falls forward. It's another Country Day first down out to about the 27-yard line.
Quarterback ISO. Talbot one way off the read. They wrap the backside guard around. Here comes the guard on the kick out right there, and they trap the defensive end from Newman, and nice hole for Talbot to get up and to pick up the first down. Got a lot of games you can play with back there when you've got that size and that type of speed. You can do a lot of things, especially off the inside zone running game, that can help your running game get going.
At the 28. Give it away to Scott Isaacs, and he will get about 5.
Counter game
maybe
right
6.
there.
Make it 6.
Lenny right there, counter game now. So you got Isaacs heading one way, and watch him take the counter step back the other way off the trap block right there, and you can see him getting north and south with his pads.
Isaacs a week ago, Wade, 18 carries, 173 yards in that loss to Episcopal. That was a strange game. You're talking to Guy LeCompte about it. Couple of mistakes in the first half, got themselves behind the 8 ball a little bit, and got some things going in the second half finally. And part of that, Isaacs was a big part of that. And
number 42 again,
first down.
Well, he can pound you.
10 Cajuns from the 15-yard line.
Put it at the 15, a gain of 7. So he's carried it 3 times on this drive, gains of 9, 6, and 7, and he's limping off right now, Wade.
He's getting up kind of with a hand on his back. I don't know if he took a helmet into the lower back area. In to replace him is number 2, Jack Swing.
Yeah, Swing, and you may see Daly line up at running back right here. Let's see how they line this up.
But you got to remember, if you lose somebody at Country Day, you lose possibly 2 to 3 to 4 positions, especially if they play special teams.
Right. At the 15. Tried to get Swing on the perimeter out there. Is that a live ball? Let's see. I haven't heard a whistle yet. Newman's got the ball and returning it. That is Austin Guillory, and they will blow it dead at the 46-yard line. Sean Sutherland may have knocked it out of there.
He was the initial hit right there that made the tackle in the backfield. You'll see it on your replay. There's Sean Sutherland right there on the hit. I don't see a beanbag. Looked like he was down. They pick up the ball. Everybody's scrambling after it right there, and finally brought down. That was number 7, Austin Guillory, picking it up for the nice gain. I didn't see a beanbag come out either.
Second week in a row we've dealt with that. So you and I were both going back looking at the replays of that Holy Cross Chalmette game Friday night with that play that really was, the turning point of that game.
You don't want to get me going on fundamentals of officiating, but one of the fundamentals of officiating is a beanbag comes out when there is a fumble or presumed fumble.
Right. So Manning and the Newman offense go to work at the Country Day 46. Far side, that is
short gain on the play.
Pass out in the left flat. That's Kai Donaldson, the junior, 6'4", 194-pound receiver. 6th catch of the season for Donaldson. He gets 2 to the 44.
Firing the ball out there to the X screen or the wide receiver screen. You see everybody doing that these days, getting it out into an athlete's hands with a couple of blockers and let them in the wide side of the field run to daylight.
2nd and 8. Manning up the gut. First down.
Manning, that's quarterback draw. Takes the ball, kind of pauses for 1 second, let the offensive line draw everybody in a blue jersey up the field, and he's going to pick his hole and he's going to take off. And, of course, we know 6'4", 210. He runs well. He's a great athlete. You know, he's a load to bring down if he's running around in your secondary.
So at the 34, as we tick under 2.5 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. Manning. Pass is caught.
Pass is complete to number 4.
And that is once again Donaldson right near the sticks. I think they'll mark it about a yard short.
Country Day is bringing pressure on every down, whether they're bringing it off the edge in a blitz by their outside linebacker or running inside stunt games with their inside linebackers. They're bringing pressure every down. And then possibly sometimes running, should we say, man behind it or zone behind it.
So 4 for 4 in the early going for Manning, 25 yards.
There it goes again.
Throws it out on the flat this time, near side. That is Williams on the catch. Ball came out. Country Day says they've got it. Wait for the signal. I thought Bo Bordelon fell on the football. Blue Hands pointer, check that. That was not Bordelon, 67. That was Randall, 87. No gain on a play. So
here's a look at it right now.
Randall, yeah.
And that was Will Randall out there. He falls on the ball. Great hit by the Country Day defensive back right there. Randall right there, Johnny on the spot to fall on it. How do you beat the blitz? And Nelson Stewart knows this. What is he going to do? He's going to throw the screens out there until you get tired of blitzing. All right, and we've seen about 5 or 6 different screens so far. Wide receiver screens, halfback screens, delayed screens, middle screens. They're bringing all type of their screen game to try to get that rush up the field fast. Here comes a blitz again.
Will Zurich in the backfield, and he is hit immediately. And Michael Talbot, the quarterback on offense, the linebacker on defense, comes in and makes the big play.
Well, one of the things is if you don't wall off the blitz or get a body on the blitz and linebacker, guys like Will Randall will make a big hit right there. Michael Talbot will make a big hit right there in the backfield, and you can see that. Big hit. Nobody picked him up on the inside zone game. Great play by Michael Talbot.
Country Day's going to call a timeout and make sure they've got what they want here. 29.4 seconds remaining in the quarter. And the first timeout of the half for Country Day. Been very impressed with Guy LeCompte's defense thus far, stepping up and making some key plays.
Well, it looks like the game plan by Country Day tonight is to be able to bring pressure at all points, whether it's inside or whether it's outside off the edge. Mix up a little man coverage, mix up a little zone coverage with it, but the game plan is to bring pressure. And obviously, how do you combat that from Newman? First thing you got to do is you can run RPOs, you can run zone reads, you can run screens, and so far we have seen all of that from Newman. But if you don't pick up the blitz, you're going to get a sack. We've seen that. Or you're going to get a free runner, like we saw right there with Michael Talbot. Was the free runner in the backfield, not picked up on the inside zone, and bang, big loss, and put you at second and, medium distance.
It's just fourth down. The line to make is the 24-yard line. It's really a long. Right. It's a long 4.
Long 4. I'm sorry. I said second down. Fourth down. It's a long 4.
Remember, this was 2nd and 1.
Right.
Had the fumble, ended up being no gain, then the loss of 3. Manning changing the call for his line. Play action, throws to Randall, makes a move, and moves forward for the first down inside the 20 to about the 19.
Country Day brought the both outside linebackers, stayed in a too-high zone. Nobody in the zone underneath to be able to defend the curl zone right there. Randall runs a little spot route, sticks it down right there in the curl area, the curl hook area, and Manning puts it right on him. Result, first down.
Yeah, I said inside the 20. Actually, they put it down right at the 20-yard line. Gain of 8. See if we'll get this play off before the quarter ends. 2-1. That is the end of the quarter, but they let the play go. And running towards the end zone, just short of the goal line, that was Zurich.
36, Will Zurich.
That got off just before the quarter ended.
17.
And a gain of 17 for Zurich to the 3-yard line on what is the final play of the first quarter.
And here's the other problem with blitzing all the time. Sometimes you can run right past the running back. Bringing all those blitzes all the time, if you just get a little bump, a little wall off, a little nudge, somebody blocks your view on the blitz, that running back will squirt right past you. You won't even see him coming, okay? And that's exactly what happened right there. You had the running back, Will Zurich, just spits right up on inside like a watermelon seed and scoots right out of there, and now it's down
first and goal at the 3-yard line, right. I believe. It's
first and goal.
Now everybody's making their way to the other end after a discussion. So 1 quarter in the books.
You know, there's an old saying, you live by the blitz, you can die by the blitz.
Certainly so. After 12 minutes of play, your score. Newman nothing, Country Day nothing, but the Greenies knocking on the door. You're watching high school football from Crescent City Sports. Back in Old Metairie, Lenny Van Gilder, Wade Kaiser. Chip Merritt, our producer, tells us, Wade, that the snap got off with 0.3 of a second on the clock on that last play.
Well, sometimes it just works out for you,
yeah.
right?
And
it worked out well for him right there.
Keep in mind, there's one scoreboard in the stadium. It's angled to the left side here as you look at it.
And so it's bathed in the sun right now, so it's really, for me,
right.
It's kind of hard to read. It might be for your young eyes. It might be okay.
It's not easy. So Newman moves 94 yards down to the other end to the other 3-yard line. And the slot man in motion, give it away, or no, check that. Manning's going to keep it around the left side. And running out of room on that sideline, falling forward, but short of the goal line.
Okay, the first thing we need, Nelson Stewart needs to teach Arch on his running form. He's got to get his shoulder pad level down. He can't be running that high up, giving those shots up with his ribs. See how high he is right there? Look how tall he is. So he's got to get that shoulder pad down. He's got to smell the end zone. Right. He's got to go in underneath all those hits. I know Nelson will look that on film. He's going to tell him tomorrow. He's going to say on Saturday. He's going to say, dude, you got to get your pad level down, and you're going to get lit up.
That was Jake Ibieta on the tackle, the junior lineman. The last name rings a bell. Is Zurich up the middle, falls forward. Did he get in?
Zurich up the middle.
Touchdown.
Run.
I was going to say, if the name sounds familiar, it's the younger brother of Justin Ibieta, of course, the former Country Day quarterback, who's now at Tulane. But Zurich, with the score, coming at the 11:45 mark of the second quarter to cap off a 9-play, 46-yard drive after the fumble.
For our folks at home, they just came out of a swinging gate, so let's look to see if Newman will use that later down the line someplace.
9 plays, 46 yards, took 3:34 off the clock. Needs it to try to make it 7-0, and it is right down central. So 11:45 remaining here in the first half. Your score, Newman 7 and Country Day nothing. Yeah, Wade, we talked at the open about the recruiting list, the top 10 in the nation.
Right.
Interestingly, that 247 composite, there are 6 players in the top 100 in the nation from the state of Louisiana. We had one of them on our air last Saturday night here on Crescent City Sports. Eli Holstein, the quarterback from Zachary. What a game that was.
And what a solid player he is.
Back and forth. Zachary and St. Aug. A third quarter that was just an absolute track meet. You know, you got to track around Tad Gormley. I guess that's a good place to have it. Ended up 45-35. Zachary, and Holstein, just a junior, also a quarterback like Manning. He is already committed to Texas A&M.
And you know, in today's world of college football and high school athletics, you know, you never know what's going to go on with those commitments. Those things can change on a dime. And it certainly wasn't like that back in my coaching days, but, you know, it seems to be the way it is now. Go ahead and commit and do those sort of things.
Yeah,
so,
and then change your mind, you know.
Yeah, but, I mean, yeah, look, he's solid, and the people in the New Orleans area who are not familiar with that name need to get to know that name because he is a fine college prospect.
Comes the return, big hole, and room to run, and still going. That is Nunez. Can he get chased down from behind? 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. 94 yards on the return for the touchdown by Nunez, and that is Country Day's answer.
Well, Evan Nunez looked like a bullet shot out of a gun. Great blocking by the special teams at Country Day right there, setting up the wedge, and he just squirted through real fast, and he was off to the races. Let's look at it in our replay. Look at the wedge. Block. Great block right there, and boom, he hits a crease, and he's out of there. Put his last move on the kicker, and it was Katie barred the door.
Nunez, 5'8", 164 pounds, a senior, showing you his wheels right there.
Number 76, Connor Gibbs.
Country Day maybe a man short right here. Guy LeCompte is going to have to burn a timeout. And that's one of those sudden change things when you score on special teams or defense. Maybe your kicking unit, your extra point unit's not ready to be out there.
Well, you know, and that's the type of timeout that Guy doesn't want to.
Any coach doesn't want to take.
Well, I wasn't going to get into all that, but I just know right now Guy LeCompte just didn't want that because one of the things at this level is you've got to use those timeouts for those spells when you got to give your kids a break because there's so many kids going both ways, right? So that was one of those in the second quarter that he could have possibly used to give his kids a break. So I'm sure he'll go over that tomorrow in his meetings with his team when he brings those kids in on Saturday and talk to that young man that was late getting on the field.
So now there's 11 out there.
11's good.
It's better than 10.
Yes, 11's good.
Better than 12 for that matter, so it's,
Always.
So on the tide, it's Connor Gibbs. And it is good.
Gibbs' kick is good.
So after no scoring in the first quarter, we've had 14 points in the first 30 seconds of the second quarter.
Well, that's a great answer to a touchdown drive. Kick it off and run it back. I mean, if anybody can put the elixir together and the whatever it is that you're cooking up, that's the way to be able to come back and answer a long touchdown drive by your opponent.
One of the things you'd say, cliche or otherwise right now, is the only bad thing about a kickoff return is now your defense has got to go right back out on the field, right? But with so many of these kids playing two ways, it doesn't matter. Whether you're just on the field for offense or on the field for defense, right?
It doesn't matter. I mean, at this level, you cover kicks, you block for kickoff returns and punts, you snap for PATs. You might even have to pull a pad off and go out there and kick the PAT, whatever the case may be. That's the way it is at 1A football. That's the reason why it is the truest form of football that you can probably coach in. And I remember my days at Vermilion Catholic. It was really, really rewarding coaching 35, 40 players every week to be able to do multiple things. And I know for Guy LeCompte, he gets that reward also.
So Gibbs to kick it off. Showed a decent leg in warm-ups, and this is going to go into the end zone for a touchback.
Gibbs' kick into the end zone for a touchback. Brought out to the 20-yard line. Newman plays 1st and 10.
So Newman takes over here at its 20, third possession of the game. First drive got stopped on 4th down. Second drive converted a 4th down, and then 3 plays later punched it in for a touchdown.
Well, they got more into the running game that particular time, running a lot of the inside zone, running Manning off the zone read. using their big physical offensive line to try to wear down those guys that are going both ways for the Cajuns. And, look for more of that. I mean, you look at those two bookend tackles, those are some big boys. One of them going to go play for LSU, and I'm sure the other one will have a future too. Here comes a blitz again.
Manning play action coming from the backside, brought down. And Isaacs with the sack.
They brought Isaacs off at the end, out from his outside linebacker position on the Newman right. Nobody picked him up. They didn't change the protection. Manning held on to the ball a little bit too long. He needed to get rid of that. He had one receiver that he was looking at over here and a wide receiver screen. He just needed to throw that thing away when he felt the heat.
So 2nd down and 16, the line to make the 30-yard line. Send that back in motion. Look that way. Now come back the other way. And trying to get it on the screen to Hunter. Incomplete. The first incompletion tonight.
They sold out.
Archie Manning.
They sold out again on the blitz. They went zero coverage and just brought everybody, every linebacker, every outside linebacker, and they're putting pressure on Manning right now. And they're going backwards.
3rd and 16.
Look for a draw, some sort of middle screen here. Looks like Country Day playing coverage here. If you notice, their linebackers are now back at depth. Too high secondary.
Manning will throw it out on the flat to T. Williams. Makes one man miss, but not a second, and he's brought down right at about the original line of scrimmage at the 20-yard line.
That was Parrish Abramson coming up. Had 7 tackles and 1 for loss last week. 6'2", 262 senior defensive back coming up and putting a nice stick on T. Williams out there in the flat.
Number 21, Maddox Moss. And number 2.
That was a great defensive series right there by the Cajuns. Over on the sidelines of the Greenies, they're going to come up with some sort of answer for all their blitz packages that they're seeing on almost every down.
So we'll see Kearney Neeson also into punt. And I guess kicking is in the family. We're going to see his cousin next Friday night. William Hudlow is the punter for Jesuit. That punt getting out to about midfield, falling forward into Newman territory. That's Maddox Moss on the return.
Country Day taking the ball over in midfield with great field position right here.
Cajuns play 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line of Newman.
So Country Day taking over just across midfield on the Newman side of the 50. Ball at the 49-yard line. The kickoff returns, the first points allowed by Newman this year. Of course, their defense hasn't allowed anything. That comes off of special teams. Yeah, Country Day trying to do something they haven't done all year, which is take a lead. They got behind big early against Episcopal, rallied to make that a one-score game, but just couldn't get over the top. Lost that game 25-20. Quarterback will keep it on 1st down. Talbot just took on the defender right there and fell forward for about another yard and a half as John Gilliard, who had 8 tackles, including 4 for loss last week, gets the stop, but there was some punishment delivered right there by Talbot on the end of that play, Wade.
Quarterback ISO, wrap the backside guard around. We've seen that play already tonight. Fake the ball one way, 2. Isaacs, take the ball from the quarterback, come up into the A or B gap, follow your guard up, who had a nice block on the linebacker. Quarterback ISO. He's a load to bring down if he's running around in your secondary.
On 2nd and 4. This time he'll give it away. Trying to get back to the line of scrimmage, but well strung out by the Greeny defense. Isaacs could not get back to the line of scrimmage and loses 2.
Lenny, not the way to attack that defense. Too much speed on the outside. Those guys from Newman can flat run. Isaacs is a downhill runner. You don't want to see him running the sweeps outside and doing that sort of thing. Now, that's not a knock on Scott Isaacs' speed. All right.
He's a north-south guy.
He's a north-south guy. Where he does his damage is running downhill and getting my shoulder pads on your shoulder pads, and let's see mano-a-mano. Blitz Newman.
From the 45, there was movement up front. Let's see who caused it.
Everybody's pointing at everybody.
It's going to be a false start.
False start. I think we got number 55 on the false start right there. That was Will LaFay.
Yeah, the right tackle. with a little movement. 3rd and 6 now turns into 3rd and 11 for the Cajuns right at the midfield stripe.
You know, that seems like a drill everybody is teaching now. If somebody moves, everybody stands up and point at each other. I wonder if they practice that at practice. I mean, you see it at every level.
Yeah.
Everybody pointing.
Need to get to the 39. High snap. Hardly any time to throw. Flag comes in, and the middle screen to Conrad got blown up. Flag is down. Preliminary indication looks like it's in the area of holding.
Conrad down also. Looks like he took it right in the chops. Maybe the wind blowing out of him.
Took a shot there at the end of that play. And it's going to be holding against Country Day. You would expect, Newman does decline it, so it'll be 4th down.
I think they got number 55 again on that hold, Will LaFay. But let's talk about this again. They're trying to attack the flank on the last 2 plays. That's not where you attack the guys in white, okay? Too much speed coming downhill from that secondary, blowing things up like they did right there on that little screen out there to Conrad. Conrad, a wide receiver, as well as a defensive back. All right, last week he had 2 catches for 15 yards, 6'2", 188-pound senior, playing both ways. I'm sorry, I said a defensive back. I think he's a defensive lineman. They kind of use him as a hybrid out there on the outside.
6'2", 188 pounds.
Yeah. Limping, look like he's going to be okay.
By the way, coming up at halftime, I'll give you a little taste of our Crescent City Sportsmakers podcast. This week's guest, the legendary Archie Manning.
Oh, my goodness.
And Archie visited with Ken Trahan earlier this week and talked about himself, talked about his sons, talked about his grandsons. We'll hear a little bit of what he had to say about his grandsons. Punt on the way. This will take a nice roll. Nice job by the return man to get it forward, as that was Chris Hunter on the return. As a flag is down, the punt off the foot of Talbot.
5 yards.
Christian Hunter was going to elect to peter that football, get away from it, but it took a nice bounce right into his hand, so not much you can do except catch the ball and get up the field and make some positive yardage.
Let's see what the flag's about here. It is a dead ball. Personal foul. It's going against Newman, so they're going to be backed up.
Foul against Newman. Penalty will be half the distance to the goal.
So Newman's going to get backed up. One thing we haven't mentioned, if we talked about Newman, on their offensive line, Arch Manning is taking snaps from his younger brother, Hyde. You know, you've seen skill guys in this family. Archie. Cooper was a wide receiver. Of course, Peyton and Eli at quarterback. Now you've got Arch at quarterback, but here comes an offensive lineman in Hyde.
Well, there was a family of Tulane that one snapped to one who threw to the other, if you can recall that from your
well, you had the Foleys, of
bingo.
course, in one day. Certainly, yeah, you had,
that's who I was thinking about.
Jesuit family, of course,
Right.
Steve was throwing to Mike.
And then I think
but there was a third brother in there as well.
The older brother, who I think was the center, who was snapping it to Steve.
So from the 13, Manning on the slant.
Manning's pass complete.
And that's a good adjustment in my mind, Wade, in terms of based on what Country Day is doing defensively.
Correct. They went to a one safety look right there, and the corner, number 6, Parrish Abramson, let the wide receiver get inside of him for the slant route. Manning puts it right on the numbers, of course, and it was a nice pickup.
From 11 to the 24-yard line, and a Newman first down.
Here comes a blitz.
Play action. Once again, that same play, and a nice job bringing that one in.
Hunter.
Okay,
Chris Hunter, a little juggling act, but yet brought it in.
Okay, for our viewers at home, one of the things you can't do, they go to man right there, is you've got to take away the inside route. That's the easy throw for the quarterback. So Parrish Abramson right there needed to play when he went to man off the blitz right there, was take away the inside slant route with his footwork, and he didn't do that.
See if we see an adjustment. Here's the ball now out at the 35-yard line after 2 straight first downs. Manning going play action. He'll put it down and go. Out past the 40, near the 45, past the 45, still on his feet, into Country Day territory, carrying defenders with him, out past the 45 of the Cajuns, put it at the 43-yard line. Gain of 22.
You got to tackle him. Talking to Guy LeConte before the game, as we always do with the coaches. Guy LeConte said it gets down to obviously blocking and tackling, and that's a prime example right there. How many tackles did Archie Manning run through right there? It was a bunch of blue jerseys. You got to tackle the young man.
Give him 21 officially on the play. They spot the football at the Cajun 44-yard line. So 3 plays and 3 straight first downs. Give it away on first down this time. Zurich on the carry. Get it out past the 40.
Up the middle.
Give him maybe 5 yards on the play. Make it 6 to the 38.
Zurich is a solid running back. 5'10", 195-pound junior who runs with a very low pad level. I'm impressed by this guy when he runs his inside zone paths.
We've got
a
whistle.
Jump early. It'll be a 5-yard penalty. Down to the 33-yard line.
Offside, and it will be an automatic first down in the process.
Well, they're trying to time up the blitzes. Okay, so Newman is changing their snap counts, and in the gun, it's usually a clap count or a sound count maybe, or some sort of other visual signal that they will do to be able to get the defense to commit into their blitzes so you can see where they're coming from.
All right.
And that's where the jump's coming from with the timing of the blitzes by Country Day.
We get the hydration break coming right at the 6-minute mark here of the second quarter. Newman on the move in a 7-7 ball game. All right, 18 minutes in. Wade, your impressions of what we're seeing thus far from both sides?
Look, I'm loving it. I mean, what an atmosphere. You look around the stadium right here, it's standing room only. I mean, everybody in the city of New Orleans has got to come out and see a game at Country Day because this is a great atmosphere. I am highly impressed with Country Day's defensive philosophy tonight. Is they're bringing it. I mean, they're going to apply pressure. They're going to live and die by the pressure, whether it's going to be some sort of zone pressure or man pressure. And I'm of course, it's a pleasure always watching Archie Manning and the way he is operating things, because tonight we're getting to see him something we haven't really seen in the past couple of years out of him, run the football.
He's running it, and he's running for 25 on 6 carries, and keep in mind that includes the sack yardage coming out of that, and he's got 9 completions and 10 attempts for 61 yards. Manning got a man, caught. It'll be a first down. That was Donaldson on the catch.
Tackle made by
had a lot of time. They pick up the blitz right there. They run the curl route to Donaldson. Donaldson breaks the route off very nicely at about 14, coming back to 12 with the swing out of the backfield. Did you see the running back swinging out of the backfield right there? Look later for some sort of hook and lateral.
My mistake there was first down on the play. It was now 2nd and 3 after a gain of 7. Ball at the 26-yard line.
Man blitz.
Pump fake. Now Manning down the seam. Tried to hit the tight end, Will Randall, and just missed him.
That was a mismatch. Great job by Jack Schwing right there. Matched up with a bigger, stronger tight end who's running the drag route deep across the middle. Schwing right in his back pocket makes a nice play to bring it down. Manning did a nice job finding the mismatch and getting rid of the ball. Offensive line from Newman picked up the blitz to give him time right there. All in all, good play. Just couldn't connect on the route.
Just the 2nd incompletion of the night for Arch Manning. 3rd and 3.
A lot of check with me. They're trying to figure out where the blitz is coming from so that way they can get the right play called from the boundary.
Manning will hand it off. Zurich up the middle. Churning very close. I don't think he got there, Wade.
Stop for a short gain.
I think he's to the 24. The line to make is the 23.
It's going to be close.
Miles and
Well, we've seen Newman go for it twice already.
It'll be 4th down. Newman.
Make it 2 yards on the play. 4th and 2 at the 25. Newman went for it on the first series of the game on 4th down, got stopped. Went for it on 4th down on the second series of the game, converted, went on to score their only touchdown.
Trying to draw him off sides right here. Manning underneath. Unless he's going to run quarterback sneak, that's what you've got to anticipate. They try to bring him off sides.
He'll keep it around left side, gets tripped up, but runs through tackler, stays on his feet inside the 5-yard line. First down and goal, Newman.
Well, they snapped the ball. 23 had a shot at him. That was Christian Daly had a shot at him in the backfield right there, but just couldn't get him down. Manning keeps the ball off the zone read. There's the missed tackle. He runs through another tackle right there, and he gets knocked out down about the 3-yard line.
So Manning now with 46 yards on 7 carries, including runs on this drive, a pair of them for 21 yards. First and goal. Give it away, Zurich, stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard.
Great job by that Country Day front right there. You had Miles Lemaire in on that tackle. You had Colin Cummings in on that tackle.
Clock ticking towards the 3.5-minute mark here in the first half as the 6:44 special making its way through Old Metairie right now. Don't want to be on Metairie Road about now. Slot man in motion. Instead, they give it away up the gut to Zurich, falling forward. Did he get in? Yes, touchdown, Newman.
Great running right there by Zurich, getting his pad level down. I said I'm impressed with this guy. He does a great job being a north and south runner, and I know that's what Nelson Stewart likes to see out of his running backs.
10 plays, 87 yards. It took 4 minutes and 44 seconds. Zurich with his second touchdown of the night. So Manning accounted for all 4 scores last week, 3 in the air and 1 he kept it himself. So far tonight it's been Zurich for both touchdowns. And Neesett on to try to make it a 7-point game once again. On the way, and the kick is good. 3:06 remaining here in the first half, but a flag down. Let's see what the flag is about back at the point of the kick. Let's see what that entails.
Running into the kicker back there, took his legs out.
It's a 5-yard running into the kicker. It'll be assessed on the kickoff. Now, if you're Nelson Stewart right here, what kind of adjustments are you making after giving up a kickoff return for a touchdown the last time? Are you skying it, trying to kick away, squibbing it? Are you kicking in another direction? What kind of are you changing some things in your coverage? What do you do?
Real simple. Kick it to the other guy. Find number 1. Say, I'm not kicking it to him. Find someplace else and kick the football. It's pretty simple. But we're dealing with kids. And it doesn't always work out that way, right? But that's what you do. And I'm sure he's got an arsenal of things he can do with his kicker, whether it be a sky kick, whether it be some sort of squib kick, or a directional kick that's deep. I'm sure he's going to come up with something, but I would not kick it to number 1, Evan Nunez. And then I would think you're going to see better coverage this time because I'm sure he probably ripped a few of those guys on that kickoff team that time for not doing their jobs. So, a kickoff team's about pride. Right? And when you get one turned, run back on you just previous, it's now a pride thing right now for this kickoff unit. So these guys are smelling blood. They want to go down there and make some sort of hit. But you've got to also, obviously, not kick it to number 1. Kick it away from number 1.
He's in the side nearest to us. Swing is the deepest in the middle. And indeed, you kick it the other way. Good call, Coach. Bland from about the 12 will get it out across the 20.
9 yards at the 21.
And Country Day will open here at the 21-yard line.
Okay.
79 yards away from the end zone with 3:01 to play here in the first half. This is only Country Day's 4th offensive snap of the second quarter, Wade. Now, part of that was the kickoff return for the touchdown. Took away an offensive possession.
Well, true. But with 3:01 left on the clock, they have plenty enough time to reestablish that downhill running game with Talbot and Isaacs. And that's what I look for them to come back and do.
Country Day has had a couple of 3-and-outs, and they had that one drive where they got down into the red zone and then fumbled. Pass coming this way. It's going to be too high for Clayton Gaiman, the junior. Last week, 3 catches, 30 yards, and a touchdown.
It's the right route. They're out there in twins. Nobody on the number 2 receiver except for the safety that's backed off 12 yards right there in a cover 2. No linebacker underneath. They throw the flag route. Very nice. Some folks call the combination a China route or a smash route. It's just a poorly thrown ball, but the wide receiver was open. It was a great call by Guy LeConte, just not a very well thrown ball. Protection was there also.
Talbot, by the way, last week, 12 out of 23, 113 yards. He threw for 3 second-half touchdowns. He's throwing again here on 2nd and 10. I think a shot down to Seaman, caught. First down and more.
Newman takes a chance. It comes with a blitz right there, Lenny, and they rotate down and go man. All right, they got him in a man blitz right there, and the receiver beats the defensive back to the inside, and the ball's thrown on a slant on the numbers by Talbot. It's in a nice pickup. That was Synod Bland on that big catch right there.
Oh, and add on 15 for roughing the passer at the end of that.
That's always nice. You'll always take some extra lanyap with it.
So that turns into 35 yards of real estate.
Plenty enough time.
20-yard gain, 15-yard penalty, and suddenly Country Day is across the 50 at the Newman 44-yard line with 2:42 and counting. Give it away to Isaacs. Might have gotten a yard. Still churning, but give him 2.
Coming off the edge was a linebacker, Kid Buchanan. It was blitzing down the line of scrimmage off the edge. Last week he had 7 tackles. 6'2", 185-pound senior came down and tripped up Isaacs, who was running his inside zone route. I'm good to see him back in the game. If you remember back in the first quarter, he got dinged up a little bit with lower back injury maybe.
Back in there now on 2nd and 8 at the 42. Play action. Coming with the tunnel screen. Once again, Bland on the catch. It's going to be a first down. It's right at the chains. It should be good enough for a first down.
Very nice executed. Great blocking out on the flank right there. Allows Bland to come back to the line of scrimmage and right underneath. Ball's put on the numbers. Great route right there by Bland.
No, they're going to move the chains now, I believe. Let's say it's saying 3rd down. Yep, first down. Took them a minute there. Had 3rd down on the down marker. But then the word came to move them along. So at the 34.
Country Day
Talbot looking over to Guy LeComte, getting
the check with me. Check with me. Looking at the secondary, where they're lining up, changing the call possibly.
Once again, it's Bland. Right at the sticks again. I think they're going to mark it a yard short this time.
He's looking for safety help out there. He had safety help, but the safety was slow getting there. Number 33, the right corner, Shaylin Gala, was thinking he was going to have the safety coming right in on that slant, and he never showed up. He immediately got up and looked over at his safety and said, "Hey, dog, where's the help?" Right? And it just was not there. If you're going to let the slant route to your inside, you're either going to have linebacker help underneath or safety help over the top, and he had neither.
Coming up to 40 seconds now remaining in the half, a whistle and a timeout. Country Day. Guy LeComte is not happy, and I think as much as anything else, something wasn't right, and he had to burn his final timeout of the half.
You know, those things are like gold because when you're playing everybody both ways like that, you got to save those things for the right time and to be able to, you know, get your kids rested right there. I'm thinking what happened was it was either a personnel change, he didn't get somebody on the field right, or they did not get the signal right from the boundary. One of the two, there was a problem with the communication, and that will torch any coach when there's a problem with communication, because all week long, that's all you do. You talk it, you walk it, and then you run it over and over and over again. There should be no issues with communications by the time he gets to game night, and that's what he was upset about.
One of the interesting things, got here about 2 hours before the game, and we don't normally see this. Maybe you see it happening in a meeting room somewhere or whatever, but out in the end zone to your right, Guy LeComte was having a walkthrough with his team. You
talk it, you walk it, you run it.
2nd down and 1. Talbot rolling this way. Nowhere to go, and he is brought down by John Gilliard, who had 4 tackles for loss a week ago, and that is a huge loss on the play all the way back to the 42-yard line. It's 2nd and 1, Wade. Just turned into 3rd down and 18, and the clock continues to run inside 20 seconds.
Also there was Will Randall. He needed to get rid of that football. He couldn't hold on to that ball right then.
Incomplete, thrown in the direction of Evan Nunez. And now it's 4th down and 18 with 11 seconds to play. What do you do here? Do you just throw a Hail Mary at this point?
I think that's what you got to do. You know, let's take a shot into the end zone. Let's run Hail Mary and throw it up. Don't remind me. I know what you're thinking.
I was not even going there.
Yeah, I know. It was coming out of your ears. I know.
I wasn't even going.
And I know next week.
It's more the timing situation.
Yeah, I know. And I know next week I'm going to have to look at a clip of it. All right.
See if I can dig that one up there.
Yeah, I'm sure you've got it right on your fingertips.
You always want to be ready in a game. And, of course, let's tell you, next Friday night here on Crescent City Sports, also on Cox Sports Television,
it's
promo.
The
102nd meeting, the 100th consecutive year that Holy Cross and Jesuit will tee it up on the gridiron at Tad Gormley Stadium. Our coverage begins at 7 p.m. with kickoff at 7:15. Hope you can join us. I'll slide down to the producer's chair. Wade will be joined by Ken Berthelot for that one.
I'm sure that's what they call a segue.
Something like that.
So, yes.
Look, this rivalry is special. You know, you're going to see Destrehan-Hahnville play tomorrow, which, considering the circumstances in St. Charles Parish, is even more special this year. Next week, you see Holy Cross Jesuit. You got St. James Lutcher coming up, you know, a couple of weeks down the line. So, all of these rivalries you see are special in their own way. And, you know, this one, look, these are not district opponents anymore. They were at one point.
But you can just look at the people here.
Yeah, they're all around.
It's a rivalry. It means something to both of these schools.
No doubt about it.
Look for a Hail Mary or some sort of pitchback play.
They're going to run the tunnel screen once again. Nunez trying to get free, but he is wrapped up at the 35-yard line. William Hewitt, who had 6 tackles a week ago, makes the stop at the 35-yard line after a gain of 7.
Well, I can understand why Guy LeConte ran that, all right? He didn't want to give Archie Manning a chance to run his own Hail Mary, so he was trying to do something where he could expend those 11 seconds by running the ball around or doing something and giving his team the best chance to pop something, obviously for a score.
Right, and if you're doing that and getting it out quick, not taking a sack, giving Arch a chance to reach the end zone perhaps. Now you're at the 35-yard line. You're 65 yards away from the goal line with 3.7 seconds left. And unlike what we've seen before, Country Day is going to back things up defensively. You've got 3 defenders standing 25 yards from the line of scrimmage.
Right, well,
maybe a 4th one backing up there as well.
Here's the news for you. Archie Manning can uncork one the length of that field right there. So, that's the bad news.
Country Day's rushing 3 and dropping 8. They're going to give it away. And that is Williams on the carry, trying to stay on his feet, out past the 45, and that will end the first half here. A gain of 13.
The score, Newman 14, Country Day 7.
And what's been an entertaining first half, Wade, is Newman leads Country Day by the score of 14-7. Your initial thoughts on what we saw in the first 24 minutes?
Oh, fun. Man, is this fun. I love watching kids play both ways in special teams by Country Day. That's awesome. And then how can you not like watching Arch Manning play, especially now with where they've instituted the running game with him, and they're getting him going with the run game, and I tell you what, he's a talent. But, the guy I like watching on Newman's offense, and I've said it before, is Will Zurich. This kid runs hard north and south. So this is fun, and it's a great atmosphere here tonight. And I couldn't say more about what we're watching here tonight as far as being a lot of fun.
And we'll get ready to see the Country Day cheerleaders take the field. We mentioned earlier this week, our Ken Trahan had a chance to visit with the patriarch of the first family of football, maybe in America, not just New Orleans, maybe in America. And that, of course, is Archie Manning. He's had 3 sons play football, and now you've got his grandsons playing football, 2 of them on this field tonight. To get the full story with Ken and Arch on our Crescent City Sportsmakers podcast, sponsored by Southland Plumbing Supply, go download it here on our site or whatever your favorite podcast provider is. We encourage you to check it out, subscribe, do all of those things, follow us, like us. You know, we appreciate you doing that. But here's a little taste of what Archie had to say to Ken about his grandsons playing here tonight and getting a chance to watch them play.
They were recruited. Things were so much different then than it is now with recruiting. Talk about the difference between when Peyton and Eli were recruited and now you got your grandson Arch getting so much attention, and how different it is in the recruitment process of Arch as it was compared to Peyton and Eli.
It's so different, Kenny, and you know more about it. You've been around high school football, and you and Ed Daniel have done more for high school football in this area than anyone, but how it's changed. Arch is a junior this year at Newman, and I can tell you, when Peyton came along, and even his brother Cooper before that, who was recruited some, and then Art and Eli, there wasn't anything much even out there recruiting until toward the end of their junior year and the spring after their junior year before their senior year. That's when it picked up. And basically, most of it was that you got letters. You got letters from school. A lot of them just standard letters. Some of them handwritten notes for coaches. And they're trying to get to know you and see what your interest is. And then they'd come around, they'd watch a little spring practice, and in the summer you go to a camp or something like that. That was it. I mean, and Peyton was recruited by 100 schools, but it didn't start till at the end of his junior year. Arch was getting recruited in the 7th grade, and Cooper wouldn't let it happen. And you hear and read about it. I can remember Alabama offered you probably know him, a couple of linebacker a few years ago from Baton Rouge. He committed in the 8th grade. They offered him the 8th grade. He committed in the 8th grade. He went, but I just don't think that's good. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So Cooper did a good job just holding that off. Arch was fortunate enough to play as a freshman. His uncles didn't play as a freshman, or his dad. And so he had a good year. He had a real good receiver. He had a good year. So it really picked up. But Cooper just thought, let's just be a freshman. Let's don't worry about recruiting. So he got through his sophomore year, which was a tough year for everybody in high school athletics first the pandemic, but so it was time that he could maybe talk to a few coaches and get his feet wet with this, but he had to do it all with Zoom calls because they couldn't come in and talk. But he finally made a few visits in June. This fall is his main priority. His priority, of course, is his team, them trying to win some games after a late start again, this time because of the storm. But he's going to go to a few games, which is, I think, is important for a prospect to be on campus and see what that game day atmosphere is like. But Arch is not all wrapped up in it. He's a sweet kid, a good kid. He's got his head on right, and hope he can stay healthy. We primarily want him to enjoy the high school experience, and then the recruiting thing, he'll make a decision himself on where he thinks the best fit is for him, and hopefully it'll all work out.
And last but not least, he's got his brother snapping him the football at Newman.
Well, that's really fun for us. I hadn't gotten all that attention. He's kind of a funny little boy, and he's always been a center, but not too big. And all of a sudden, I just kind of got in the weight room, and they got in the kitchen, and he put on some weight, and he grew a little bit. And he started at center. He's worked hard now. He's really worked hard to get out there on the field with his brother. So that's really special for us.
Water coming down through the roof.
Right. So our thanks to Archie Manning, and once again, it's a brand new Crescent City Sportsmakers podcast, 2 episodes old. We had your great friend on in episode 1, Frank Monica, who was, it was good to hear from Frank, and obviously he's dealing with issues much as you and a lot of other people are, and trying to get things back together after Hurricane Ida. But he's also dealing with retirement. Of course, Archie's been retired for a while, but now he's getting a chance to play granddad and watch on Friday nights again. And look, that is we talk about the atmosphere here and how special it is and how much fun it is. It's just, it's fun being able to watch your kids and your grandkids compete on Friday night. He did it with his kids for, a decade at Newman, between the time, I guess, that, the Clippers started and then Eli finished. And, of course, he had a chance to watch him on Saturdays and then on Sundays, which not everyone gets to do. But now he's getting a chance to watch his grandkids. And it was interesting to get his perspective on the recruiting process and how it has evolved from the time that Peyton went through it to now what he sees and what Arch is going through. And it's, it's just from technology as much as anything else.
And the technology and just the way things are handled. It's changed. I retired from coaching now, what is it, 8 years now? I've lost count. It's changed from then. Yeah. I mean, it's a whole different world that kids are having to deal with, the high school coaches are dealing with or not dealing with, and then what the college coaches are doing and the way they're handling their business. So he's absolutely correct. And I don't envy high school coaches, number one, when they have kids that are recruits, because things can get out of hand real quick. Number two, I don't envy parents today of high school recruits because things can get out of hand real quick, right? And, college coaches, their jobs depend on it, right? Yeah. You've got to be able to recruit. So it's a whole different world. It's very pressure-oriented. But you know what? I think the Mannings have a handle on it.
No doubt. They have had a handle on the situation with Arch from day one. I mean, the fact that you as a freshman, let him be a freshman. There were no media interviews, no distractions. Let him be a freshman in high school, and they've really continued to emphasize let him enjoy the high school experience. This thing's going to happen one way or the other, and. Might be, we'll take a look at halftime stats first before we get into a little more of Arch. We certainly have more time to talk about that. But the numbers, you look at those numbers, Wade, and they suggest all Newman. But, Sean Payton, when he talks about numbers, he's always one to remind about hidden yardage. And basically, 100 yards is worth a touchdown. Well, we had a 94-yard kickoff return in this game for a touchdown. So that is, those numbers don't show up on those total yards. You see Country Day with maybe half that amount of yards in terms of total offense here in the first half.
The other hidden yardage is the sack yardage.
The sack yardage, the penalty shows up a little bit in there, but the penalty yardage, the return, those things that maybe aren't in the total yards.
The big plays, the explosive plays, the impact plays, that doesn't show up in there either. So that's like you're talking about on the kickoff. Absolutely. Country Day is doing a great job. I like their game plan defensively. And they're living and dying by it, and they're having some success with it. And it'll be interesting to see how Nelson Stewart and his offensive staff makes adjustments here at the second half to handle the blitzes. I thought for a series, Country Day got away from what they would do best offensively, and that's run downhill. But they found it, they got back to it, and they had success. So
and they showed you a little bit of being able to throw the ball there in the last couple of minutes. Yeah, the sack took away the opportunity perhaps to go in and get three even. I mean, if you get a few more yards, maybe you got a shot at three there.
And let me say this, all right? Guy LeCompte has to keep Michael Talbot when he throws the ball within himself, all right? Look, Talbot is a linebacker, okay?
Playing quarterback.
Right. So
it's not unlike what Isaacs is doing. He's a linebacker playing running back. But you know what? They've got their strengths as well.
Right. But the difference here is what Guy LeCompte likes to do, throwing the ball vertically and horizontally. He's got to keep that under control with Talbot to be able to put him in a situation to be able to hit the right type of passes and give him the chance to have some success. And he did that with the tunnel screens, the little quick stuff real fast on the slants. Those sort of things are right up and out. Catch the ball, throw it from the gun. Catch it, throw it, get it out. But when he took that sack right there, they were asking him to do something that he's not used to doing. That's
You needed
let
something
things
to
develop.
Exactly.
Let something develop, and he takes the sack, which took him right out of that drive. So Guy LeCompte knows that, and Guy LeCompte knows right now he's kicking himself when he has to put him in that situation where he's flipping a coin to see if he's going to be successful. Guy LeCompte's going to put him back in the situations, throwing the football where he gets rid of it real fast, to those wide receivers out there and those little screens, those tunnel screens, and those slant and hitch routes.
Exactly. So you see the numbers there again, and then of course
right.
Newman with the lead. So that's not it's not unexpected. Yeah.
What's interesting in Newman rushing the ball? All right. What's Archie Manning's numbers rushing tonight?
Solid. He may be the leading rusher so far. In fact, he is. He is. 7 carries for 46 yards. He had 42 on that last touchdown drive.
So how far?
Zurich's got 25. And
I've already sang Zurich's praises, but
Williams has 15.
How fun is it to watch Manning run the football?
Look, it makes
it fun?
It makes you defend.
Correct.
In a in a different way. I mean, you're not just it's like anything else. It reminds me a little bit, and this is certainly not a recruiting pitch by any means, but if this is where he would end up, I would not be surprised if you watched Ole Miss and Matt Corral against Tulane last week, and Tulane really had no answer, and that Ole Miss. I'm looking forward to seeing Ole Miss Alabama next Saturday. There's no doubt about that. That is going to be a fun game to watch, just to see what Nick Saban on defense can draw up for that Ole Miss offense, which is really, really potent.
Right.
And but seeing what Arch Manning is doing, he's not doing the same things, but it's just a fact of seeing. The threat of the quarterback running changes how you have to deal with things.
Changes the whole dynamic defensively because now you've got to account for them, especially off the zone read. You've got to treat it like option, right? A dive, a quarterback read, and then either, you can pitch the ball, throw the ball, whatever you want to do on the triple option. So you've got to account for him in your dynamic of your defenses. So that's going to be interesting to see what Country Day does in order to combat Manning running the football.
So let's talk about the other side. You saw what Country Day was able to do at times in the first half. Some of the things they had success with. Nelson Stewart and his staff. What kind of adjustments do they need to make?
Well, I think the first thing they're going to do is they're going to come up with some sort of answer against the blitzes that they're seeing from Country Day. I think you're going to see more check with me's. You're going to see more second counts, longer counts, silent counts, things that are going to tip off the blitz to their offensive line so they can see it coming. Next, you're going to see Arch Manning running the ball, because if they're going to continue blitzing like that, there's nobody to account for the quarterback. They've got to account for the quarterback with somebody in the secondary. If they catch him in man, there's nobody to account for the quarterback. Okay? All right. The next thing I think you'll see is they'll get back to running their screen games. They love the screen games. We saw 2 or 3 forms of screens in the first half, from tunnel screens, wide receiver screens, what I call an X screen, to slow delay screens to the back out of the backfield and pull an offensive lineman out in front of halfback slip screens. So look for more screen game also.
Now, apparently they're going to reset the clock to 3 minutes at this point, now that both teams are back out ready to go.
Oh, that's your favorite clock.
I know. Well, at least they're stopping it early and now resetting it to 3 minutes, as opposed to letting it run down to 0 and then be 3 minutes. I'm all for that, okay? I am all for that. Trust me, I don't understand why they just don't add it on, but look, if you're going to start that much quicker, I'm all for it. Of course, normally at this point, we're talking about scores on our All-State Sugar Bowl scoreboard. The best scoreboard in the state is at CrescentCitySports.com. The early 6 o'clock start here, everything is really just kicking off. A lot of great games around the area. Of course, over on the West Bank, they're back playing football at the Jefferson Parish Stadiums this week, which is great. You got a good one tonight at Joe Yenny. You got Rummel hosting Calvary Baptist, the defending Division IV state champions. You got a great rivalry going on at Hoss Memphis tonight, Everett and West Jeff. Another great rivalry going on over at Tad Gormley tonight, Jesuit and Brother Martin. Yeah, that's a top. My son and I were having this conversation the other day. Is every matchup in the Catholic League a rivalry? What isn't a rivalry?
Okay, here's the deal, and I've always said this, having played in the Catholic League, coached in the Catholic League at two different schools, I think the rivalry is amongst the players from the different schools depending on their associations. For example, your son went to elementary and middle school with kids from Jesuit, right? Kids from Jesuit went to elementary and middle schools with kids from Martin. Next door, you have a kid from Holy Cross that lives next door to you that you grew up with, but you went to separate schools. You played on playgrounds at Girard or wherever on the West Bank. You played with kids that selected schools to go to. They're still your lifelong friends, but on Friday night, they're your rivalries, and you get up for that game because you're seeing those particular faces, and you know you're getting ready to play them. So I think they're all rivalries depending on each individual group of kids that are at the school. You know, you want to talk tradition, Holy Cross Jesuit.
No doubt.
Shaw Rummel, right? You talk traditions.
Brother Martin, St.
Aug. You want, the 1971 game. You talk traditions, right? They're traditional games that I wouldn't call rivalries, but there are non-traditional games that are rivalries. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's my take on it. Because look, when I was at Jesuit, Holy Cross wasn't a rivalry to me. When I was playing in high school, who was a rivalry to me? It was Brother Martin, because I knew those guys. All right, Rummel. I knew those guys. So those were my two biggest games that I had circled on my calendar as rivalry games for me personally. And I know it's like that for most of the kids in the Catholic League.
Christopher Hunter.
All right, so Gibbs will kick it off. Hunter is the deep man nearest to us at about the 5-yard line. And this one is booming into the end zone. It'll be a touchback. Of course, Federation rules, once it crosses the goal line, you cannot return it.
A touchback. Newman plays.
So Newman takes over at its 20. Archie Manning in the first half, 10 out of 12, 68 yards, and we mentioned 7 carries for 46 yards. So he accounted for 114 of the 154 yards that Newman rolled up on offense in the first half. But no touchdowns.
Right. Well, look for more of that the second half. I think you're going to see them still come back with the running game with Archie Manning because it works, and especially if Country Day stays with their all-out blitz schemes, nobody's there to account for them on the zone read packages.
Lights have taken full effect now here in Old Metairie.
There go blitz again.
Quick pass out of the flat. It is incomplete. I believe that was intended for Randall, the tight end.
Incomplete.
And then another screen right there, tight end screen. He bubbles back, puts 2 blockers out in front of him. A nice way to get the ball out there into Will Randall's hands. Again, Country Day bringing the blitz off the edges.
So I think it's a big series for Country Day's defense here, Wade, after,
no doubt.
You got to stop here and get the ball back into the hands of your offense in a one-score game.
No doubt. If they can get a 3-and-out here and get pressure on Manning, they got a little momentum.
Manning taking a shot deep. Got a man, and it is just off the fingertips of his receiver. That was Hunter. Chris Hunter, the senior, 6'2", 175 pounds, was out there. He had a step on his man, but Manning just had a little bit too much air on that one.
They sell out again on a blitz. Talking about Country Day, they're in man coverage. Receiver had a step on the defensive back. Manning took a shot in the ribs. That's another way to beat the blitz right there, is to try to stretch the field vertically. This is the first big shot down the field of the night that we've seen Manning take, and that's another answer to the blitz. But you got to pick it up, and you got to have a person that's going to stand in there to deliver the ball. Manning stood in there, took the shot, and delivered the ball. Another reason why he's going to be the #1 rated quarterback in the nation.
3rd and 10. Got to get to the 30. Manning, little half roll. Now he'll step up. Fires, caught. First down, Newman.
Pass complete.
Also another answer to the blitz. Move your protection. Turn everything back.
And that was Hunter once again.
Lenny, when you turn everything back, you pick up each gap that the blitz is coming in, and you're running away from the outside blitz. So if you change your protection, you turn your protection back, get the quarterback out on the edge with a little bit more time, that's your result. Great adjustment right there by the Newman staff.
Manning on first down, coming this way, caught.
Manning's pass complete.
Maybe about 3 or 4 yards on the catch. That was St. Villery on the catch, his first of the night.
That's a name that we've called in the past playing for Newman, St. Villery. He's a fine receiver. 4 catches, 78 yards, and 1 touchdown last week. 5'11", 180-pound junior. He's got a great set of hands. They play him in the slot a lot. They put a lot of motion with him. He had a huge season last year as a sophomore.
So after the gain of 4, it'll be 2nd down and 6. Trips to the bottom this time of the Randall in the slot. Going the other way to the single receiver, Hunter. It'll be short of the first down.
Out to the 40-yard line.
Hunter runs a 5-yard out pass. Manning puts it on the button. Country Day brings the blitz again. They're in man coverage. Great job out there in the secondary by Parrish Emerson, but the ball was just a little too quick getting there on the timing route, on the out route. Here comes a blitz again.
3rd and 3. First possession of the 3rd quarter. Manning taking a shot down the far sideline, got his man Hunter.
Manning's pass complete.
Okay,
Down inside the 20-yard line.
so there's your adjustment right there. We've seen 2 of them in this drive.
This announcement for the top
When they
of the
get
press-
man blitz, they're going to go up top,
Open up the top
which they
of
did
the
right there, and they executed right there. Great execution by Manning and the Newman offense. The second thing we've turned is seen as turn protection or turn back protection and get Manning out on the edge.
Manning throws complete. That is Randall, the tight end.
Scott Isaacs at the tackle.
We haven't talked much about Randall tonight. He's a solid player. He's going to be a college prospect. Tight end,
Gain of 8 on the play.
Will Randall also plays a little bit of defense. He's 6'4", 240-pound tight end. He's going to have a future next year playing, in 2 years playing college football. He's only a junior.
Give him 9. 2nd down and 1. Manning coming back this way once again to Randall.
Reception made by Will Randall.
And that's going to be 1st and goal.
We saw that tight end screen right there a few plays back where they threw it to the right. This time they throw it to the left. See right there out of the bunch formation, watch Randall pop himself back. There's the blocking out in front of him on a little tight end screen. It's a nice way to get the ball out there. Very, very nicely drawn up and executed by the Newman offense and Nelson Stewart, their head coach. Look, Nelson Stewart, we're seeing 2 great offensive minds in this stadium tonight, all right? And these 2 guys, they know how to get the ball into the people's hands that need to be able to get, yards. They know how to change protections. They know how to adjust to defenses. So you're seeing a great coaching job by these 2 offensive coordinators, which are also the head coach of each team.
Well, Arch Manning has done nothing but throw in this drive through 2 straight incompletions to start the drive, and now he has completed 6 in a row for 72 yards to get the ball down to the 8-yard line.
Well, I said, we talk about what adjustments have we seen coming out at halftime. We've seen 2 of them right here in this drive, and they're working. Go up top when they get man blitz. Turn back protection, roll out Manning, block everything back, and then we already said run more screens, and they're getting Randall involved in the screen game.
So after they tended to the injured player, it's now 1st and goal at the 8. Zurich, who has both touchdowns for Newman tonight, is in the backfield behind Manning in the pistol formation. Manning will throw, going far side, and that is incomplete, intended for Randall. 3rd straight time he's gone in the direction of his tight end.
Fade route by Randall right there. When they look at film tomorrow, they're going to say, and I know what Nelson's going to talk to him about. He's going to say you needed to bring your route a little bit more out to the pylon to be able to spread the width by the defensive back to be able to give your quarterback a chance to drop the ball in. It was a little tight inside the pylon. Should have been a little bit wider outside the pylon.
Man in motion. Now they'll go back in the direction of the motion. Breaking a tackle and in for the touchdown is Hunter. Manning to Hunter, 8 yards for the touchdown, and Newman has a 20-7 lead.
That was like stealing out there. You got man coverage out there on Hunter. Just a huge mismatch on the timing out route. They ran it earlier, and, Manning just puts that ball right on the numbers, and it's a touchdown, Newman.
Reset on to the extra point.
So we'll see the swinging gate here, and they'll move into place for the extra point by Neesett to try to make this a 14-point game. And the kick is good, and with 8:39 remaining here in the third quarter, your new score is Newman 21 and Country Day 7. Wade gives us a chance to tell you the Crescent City Sports Prep Football brought to you by Gibbs Construction, a leader in the construction industry in Louisiana and the Gulf Coast for more than 35 years, transforming dreams, visions, and plans into reality. Gibbs Construction. So I guess the adjustment we saw out of the Newman offense is to let Archie Manning do some work with his arm right there. 7 of 10 on the drive for 80 yards. And keep in mind, he passed for 68 yards in the first half. Well, and attempted 12 passes.
Well, yeah, and we saw his arm working, but you saw the adjustments in 3 places. We talked about screens. Got it. Got Will Randall involved in the screen game. Number 1. Number 2 adjustment, when they see no one in the center of the field, they're bringing an all-out blitz and they're in man. My wide receiver is better than your wide receiver. We're going to run the fade route. We're going to get on top now. Tried it once, missed it by a hair. Hit it twice after that. And then number 3, we saw a couple of times where he didn't get touched because he rolled out of the pocket. They brought a full house blitz, and all they did was turn back the protection. By turning back the protection, it just walls everything back and allows Manning to get out on the edge to have great vision with the option either to throw or run the football.
This time a shorter kick will hit the ground, take one hop, and come up to Bland, who will get out to about the 33-yard line, and we will see the Country Day offense for the first time here in the second half.
I mean, they've got to come right back to their bread and butter, which is running downhill with their fine running back, Scott Isaacs. They got to get him back going downhill. They got to get Talbot running downhill. They got to go back to throwing the short passing game out on the edges to their nice little receivers and backs.
Isaacs in the first half, 6 carries for 24 yards. He had 173 on the ground last week against Episcopal. Play action on first down.
Michael Talbot's pass.
And pass is complete.
Well, there's the slant we saw.
And that was Nunez.
Right, there's the slant we saw to Nunez earlier, just before the end of the half. Off the play action, sets up a nice down right here for Guy LeConte. 2nd and 2. Everything's open for him. He can go all up and down his 4x6 play card because that's what he uses. Nothing like Sean Payton. And everything's open to him right now.
2nd and 2. Quarterback will keep it, pulled it back. Talbot falls forward for the first down.
Very nicely executed off the zone read and then wrapped the guard around up onto the linebacker for make it an ISO. Very nicely executed. Get something going here on offense. Get the ball moving. Settle your team down. Newman has not made an adjustment on defense this second half. They're staying into their odd front 3-4. With either 1 or 2 high secondary. Right now it's a 2 high secondary.
When you haven't allowed a point defensively all year, Do you make adjustments as Isaacs runs right towards the sticks? Might have the first down. We'll wait for the spot. Looks like he's got it. 10 on the run for Isaacs. First down.
Boy, Isaacs is going to be a solid college football player, whoever he signs with, especially some sort of possible mid-major, something like that. He's a solid athlete.
They said he was short of the line to gain by just inches.
If I'm not mistaken, he's a 3-sport letterman, too, which most kids, I'm sure, at Country Day all play 2 and 3 sports.
Quarterback will keep it on 2nd and short. Talbot out to about the 37-yard line. Give him 7. So the Cajuns on the move here with their first possession of the second half, trying to answer.
Quarterback ISO.
Touchdown.
Quarterback ISO. Did you see Isaacs leave up on the linebacker right there? So then they put their other running back in the backfield with them, so they lead 2 up on the linebacker and allow Talbot to pick his hole.
Couple of receivers to the bottom of the screen. Give it away to Isaacs. Makes one man miss, falls forward to about the 35.
It's a gain of 2.
He'll get a couple.
And 2nd down, 8.
Country Day still using their check with me. They things today. Everybody likes to line up and see where everybody's at, and either get the call from the press box down and find out where the secondary is, maybe where the blitz is coming from, or what are the shades of the defensive lineman, right? And then call the play from the boundary.
So 4 straight runs here by Country Day after they started this drive with a pass, and we get to the 6-minute mark in the hydration break. It is a 21-7 Newman lead. I mentioned, though, Newman, look, they not only held Vanderbilt without a point, they held them to 109 yards last week, 70 rushing, 39 passing. Country Day was 53 yards in the first half. They've picked things up a little bit here on this drive, 33 yards, so they're at 86 now for the game.
Well,
but this is a Newman team. Look, you're going to talk about Archie Manning and the offensive skill and that kind of thing, but if Newman wants to accomplish its goal, which is win a state championship for the first time in school history, for that matter, get to a state championship game. By the way, the news earlier this week about the select championships, the Division I and Division III championships will be played at Yeoman Stadium on Friday, December 3rd. The Division II, Division IV championships will be played at Cajun Field in Lafayette the following day. As the quarterback, Talbot, keeps that one, falls forward, might have got about 1.5 yards, make it 1.
William Hewitt from his linebacking position right there did a nice job that time. He stepped right up in the hole. He was unaccounted for and tackled Talbot by the ankles.
Okay, so this is 3rd and 7 as you see it. But is this really 4-down territory right here, and you're playing this like it's almost 2nd down and 7?
Yes. In my opinion, it is.
Yeah, it's certainly too close. It's too close to punt. Too far to kick a field goal. Play action. Try the tunnel screen. Got a man, but it is well defended by the Greenies. It was William Hewitt from his linebacker spot, came in and made the play, and no gain on the pass.
Another really good play by William Hewitt. He's done a nice job tonight. He runs to the ball well. He's kind of the guy, it looks like, that gets everybody lined up out there. I'm watching him right now, getting everybody set up and lined up off of the call from the sideline.
It was Gupta on the catch that time. His first time we've called his name this evening. So now it's 4th and 7.
Here comes a blitz by Newman off of Country Day's right.
This could now be a punt here. Shifted into punt formation. Oh, and it's not a very good kick at all. Needs a roll. Got it. Got a friendly roll, and it will roll out of bounds at about the 18-yard line.
Well, it's a little quick kick formation. It could have either been a punt or it could have possibly been a pass because they moved the quarterback Talbot back there in the back, and he was the one that did the quick kicking or the punting right there, and they got a nice roll out of that. So, Country Day right here needs to find a stop. They need to find an answer to what went on in that first series by Newman. And the first thing Newman, I'm telling you, we're going to see the deep ball again to one of their wide receivers. Somewhere in this series.
Yep.
All
2
out
to the
blitz.
bottom.
0.
And we've got movement up front. Let's see if the Cajuns jump. Yes, they did.
Newman will play 1st and 5.
So move it up to the 23-yard line, and it's 1st and 5 for the Greenies.
Here comes your blitz again, all-man coverage.
Play action. Manning taking that deep shot, going for Hunter, and he overshot him.
Pass incomplete. Paris Abramson.
This is 3 or 4 times in a row where there's been zero coverage. There's nobody in the middle of the field. Oh, my goodness, late flag over there.
The ball was overthrown, but the defender, and that was Abramson, had a hand.
Might have reached out and
grabbed it. He definitely had a handful of jersey there.
Well, that's what happens when you get beat, and he was beat. They're putting him out there on an island with
that was Hunter, the
number 11 Hunter. Take a look at it. Let's see if you can see the jersey.
Yep, they waved it off.
Oh my goodness! Right there, you saw it right there towards the end of the play, the yank, but the ball was way out of uncatchable ball.
Yep.
And but that's the answer. I told you, you're going to get zero blitz. They're going to go up top. They believe that my guy, Chris Hunter, is better than your guy, Parrish Abrams, number 6, and the ball was just overthrown. They're not going to stop doing that.
So far here in the second half, Newman's run 11 plays. They've all been passes. After a first half in which they threw it 12 times and they ran it 17. Play action. Manning in the flat. Got the tight end Randall. Flag comes in.
Gain of about 4 on the
and
flag down.
Short of the first down. We'll see what the flag's about. It came in before some of those extracurriculars that were at the end of the play. It's going to go against the Greenies.
Well, again with the all-out blitz, Christian Daly was right in the alley of the tight end screen again. Just over his outreached hands. He'd have picked that, he'd have walked for 6.
Newman penalized back to the 20-yard line. It'll be 2nd down. 8.
Well, Country Day has not gotten away from their blitz mentality. They did it in the first half almost every play, and they're bringing it the second half. They're just not going to get away from it.
Manning firing far side. That is, wait for a signal. Is it a catch?
Pass was intended for St.
Villery incomplete. But I tell you what, showed you some arm strength right there. I mean, that play was on the near side hash, and he threw the ball out to the 40-yard line at the far sideline.
Enough said from that standpoint. Again, he's going to be the number 1 rated quarterback for the next 2 years in the recruiting process, and everybody in the country is coveting the Archie Manning signature on a letter of intent. That's why, right there, that ball.
Three receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom of your screen. Manning going up top, taking a shot at Hunter. Hunter might have lost the ball in the lights right there, Wade. I don't know. It looked like he looked up and like he didn't see it.
4th down.
Well, that could have been part of it, but also Parrish Abramson did a lot better job right there in his man coverage. Look up at the top of your screen. I don't know if we can see it right there. He is right in phase with the wide receiver, hip to hip right there. He was in perfect position to play that ball.
No doubt.
But you're absolutely right. He could have gotten blinded a little bit by that ball up there in the lights.
Newman, number 39, Tierney Neeset.
So Neeset will punt. 2 receivers standing on the 50-yard line.
Big stop right there for the Cajuns. Big stop by the Cajuns.
Yeah. After this punt, you talked about recruiting, Wade. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. Line drive kick. Takes a big hop, backs up the return man to the 45-yard line, trying to get to this side, and that was Maddox Moss on the return. A flag comes in late. Let's see what this is about.
You might have some sort of personal foul, live ball personal foul here. Or
we'll wait for the signal from Scott Baudet, our referee. As they talk about it.
That flag came from a long way. That's like an overhand breaking ball.
And it's a dead ball, personal foul. It's going to go against Country Day. And that's going to back the Cajuns up now to about the 30-yard line.
That's what I thought. I thought I saw a little extracurricular. They're calling it dead ball.
And the clock is continuing to run.
On the field.
Well, now we're keeping the time on the field. We're having an issue, I believe, with the clock. It's continuing to run. So now the time is going to be kept on the field. They can't stop the clock. It's continuing to run here.
Okay, well, that makes it hard on us doing
exactly.
How much time we're going to have left from that standpoint. So we'll do our best to
there's about 3 minutes and change, we believe, left here in the third quarter. The clock continues. Now they've got it stopped at 2:12. Let's see if they can get it reset. Well, it started again. Now it's at 2:11. I guess they're taking a second to try and get that squared away. Let's see. Let's take a look, Wade, at you mentioned recruiting.
Right.
The official, now they've reset it to 3:30. Okay. Let's save it here as we're ready to play. But we'll talk about where Arch Manning is going this fall to make some unofficial visits and check out some games. Some intriguing choices on his part. Because now we're going to stop it again, the back judge. Let's do it now while they talk about this.
What did you say they had on their bodies at Georgia last week?
Oh, they had spelled out, the students had spelled out basically, we want Arch. So he was at Georgia last week. He's going to Alabama next week. Oh, by the way, Alabama plays Ole Miss.
Oh, by the way.
In Tuscaloosa. If you remember, if you're a college football history buff, Alabama, Ole Miss, 1969.
I was 9 years old.
His grandfather had one of the great games in the history of college football that night. It was an unbelievable performance by Archie Manning in a 1-point loss. And then beyond that, you look and you see he's going to, he's going to Ole Miss for his uncle Eli's jersey retirement. He's going to go to Texas to go check things out there. So, it's some strategic choices in where he ends up. Is Talbot, we resume play here.
Well, he's going to take all the right visits.
Yeah, and these are unofficial. These are not official visits.
He'll get courted by all the right people, and his family will make sure everything is in order for him to make the best decision possible. And you know what? It's going to be Arch's decision.
No doubt. He's earned the right.
It's not going to be his dad. It's not going to be his grandfather's. It's not going to be one of his uncles. It'll be his decision.
Yep.
He's a steady young man. He'll make a good decision. And you know what? Just like Archie did with his boys.
In and out of the hands of the defender. That was Kit Bachman, the senior linebacker, very nearly picked that pass off by Talbot. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Right, just to finish up on what I was saying, just like his dad did with his sons, it will all work out just fine. And the history will be written somewhere down the line because that's how good this guy is. Kid Botman right there dropping down underneath. Remember I said you got to be under a slant or on top of a slant? Well, he was underneath the slant that time in perfect position right there on the hook area and almost came away with a pick.
3rd and 10. Talbot takes a shot as he throws, and this one is intercepted.
By number
Shaylin Gala.
Shaylin Gala right there was playing deep safety. They had a 2 deep safety look right there. They ran 4 verticals. Country Day runs 4 verticals. Talbot holds on to the ball a little bit too long. That vertical in 4 verticals needs to be hit between 12 and 14 yards because if you hold on to the ball that long, you're going to throw it right to one of the safeties in a too high look. Either that or you got to break your route off.
Yeah.
And neither happened right there. And the worst thing that can happen on 4 verticals is holding on to the football, and that's what Talbot did.
And I think the ball sailed a little bit because of the Newman pressure as well. He took a shot as he delivered the football.
And that was the next thing. He stood in there and took a shot like a good football player does, and then the ball sailed a little bit.
So now Manning from the 50.
Blitz.
Give it away on first down, and something we haven't seen the whole second half, and run the run for Zurich. Inside the 30, still churning down to about the 20-yard line.
I said this back in the first half. The other thing that kills a blitz is when you pop it past the blitzers. If you're in man coverage, there's no free safety in the middle of the field, and that's what happened right there. So he scored it through like a watermelon seed into the secondary, and he was lucky he didn't go yard. Our Country Day was lucky he didn't go yard.
So the ball at the 20-yard line after the big gain of 30 by Zurich. He'll get it again off the left side, still moving his legs. Out near the 10-yard line, he'll be just short of the first down.
Hit made by number 23, Christian Daly.
That Newman offensive line right there was just exacting its will on the Country Day defensive line.
You got the two border-ons, Martin, Lovell, and Hyde Manning up front for the Greenies. It's a gain of 9. It'll be 2nd down and 1. The ball at the 11-yard line. Once again, it's Zurich. Can he get to the goal line? Just short. Call it the 2. It'll be
called a 3. 1st and goal, Newman.
Really nice job by the backside guard here. You can, and the tight end on the counter play. You get the kick out by the guard, you get the wraparound by Will Randall, and nothing but green grass in front of Zurich right there.
This has been all Zurich on this drive that started at midfield. He's gained 47 yards. 1st and goal, the ball at the 3. Got to believe he's earned the right to get it again here. Nope, this time it's going to be Arch on the keeper, trying the left side, drawing forward, touchdown.
On for the extra point, number 39.
Arch Manning on the 3-yard touchdown run with 1:24 remaining in the third quarter. And Newman, they have broken this open a little bit. It's a 3-score game.
Arch Manning does a great job here. Zone read, there it is. Get your shoulder pad level down. I can hear tomorrow in film, I can hear his head coach yelling at him. You can't just kind of stand up and walk in there that way. You're going to get lit up. You got to get your shoulder pad level down. You got to protect yourself from the oncoming hit.
4 plays, 50 yards, all on the ground this time, 1 minute and 43 seconds. Point after by Neesett is good, and it's a 28-7 game. Again, 1:24 remaining in the third quarter. So Newman scored twice here in the third quarter. The first drive was all through the air, 80 yards. The second drive was all on the ground, 50 yards. So they can give it to you both ways, really. This is not a one-dimensional offense by any means.
Well, they're starting to impound their will, up front on that offensive and defensive line. They've got the answer now to the blitzes. All right, now they've got the answer in their running game to be able to get, Zurich going with the counter plays and the inside zone, and then the RPO quarterback zone reads by Manning. So. I think you're starting to see an offensive line here from Newman that's hitting its groove. It's falling right into where it wants to be, and the guys in blue and Country Day are, kind of getting a little tired here. Not from the standpoint of being out of breath, but just working from both sides of the ball, offensive line-wise, defensive line-wise, and that pounding that's going on by the guys in white that's physically can take its toll. They got to get something going here on offense right now.
Kick off, back deep, Jack Schwing, Sennett Bland, and Evan Nunez.
This one deeper, but it will be in the direction on Bland. And well defended this time by the Greenie coverage team. He didn't make it out to the 20.
I'm saying the ball was out.
Out to the 19-yard.
Newman comes up pointing in their direction. Well, maybe not. Good coverage right here by the guys in white. Like I said, you get one returned on you, there's a pride factor with your unit. And, you know, I'm sure there's a captain of the kickoff team for Newman or their special teams or something of that nature that probably pulled those guys off to the side and said, hey, you know, this isn't happening again. Speaking about that kickoff return in the first half.
So Country Day will begin this drive at the 19-yard line. Got a couple of first downs on the opening drive of the third quarter, and then had a chance to come out with pretty good field position on the second drive. That personal foul set him back. Quarterback keeper here on the first down. Talbot might have got 5. Let's see, maybe 4.
Tackle made by number 9.
See, that's their game right there. Talbot and Isaac downhill. That's their game, all right? If they get forced into some sort of penalty situation where they're going to have to back up and throw the football, you know, something happens with the turnover where they, you know, or they fumble the ball backwards or anything that's going to put them in a throwing situation. Not saying that Talbot can't throw the football. It's just not their cup of tea, as we've seen here tonight.
Needs to start with the run, and then you balance it with the pass a little bit.
Yeah, just off the play action, the slants and the little screens.
Play action. Talbot dropped the football. Ball fell out of his hands as he was trying to throw, and it looks like Newman's come up with it. The third Country Day turnover for tonight.
You know, I feel real bad for Michael Talbot right there. The ball just slipped out of his hands, and I know he feels bad, and he just couldn't find the ball below him. You know, if he would have fell on that ball right there, then they would have been in a throwing situation. That's what I'm talking about with some sort of, you know, backwards fumble or drop the ball or something like that can happen. But it didn't. Greenies fall on the ball. It's 1st and 10. Greenies well inside of Country Day into the field.
Inside of 30 seconds remaining here in this third quarter of play.
Quickest way Talbot can get himself feeling better right here is to make some sort of big play on defense. You know, you got to have a memory like a goldfish when you play both ways. If you made a mistake on offense the play prior, you've got to turn around and play defense. You've got to have a very, very short memory. Because now you've got to execute what it is that's being called for your defensive unit that's on the field.
Now T. Williams in the game at running back. He will motion out. Manning throws wide open, touchdown. St. Villery on the catch, 15 yards in the score.
Nobody had the back because they blitzed them. I mean, if you're in man, you got to have somebody to cover everybody. And when you're blitzing someone, you're blitzing possibly the person that would have the back out of the backfield, or the receiver that is in motion, or the quarterback out of the backfield, right? Your numbers are short in coverage. And that was easily picked up by the staff at Newman, and thus, there you go. Nobody account for the receiver, touchdown Newman. Great adjustment by the offensive coaching staff of the Greenies.
Kick on the way, it is good, and with 20 seconds left in the third quarter, your new score is Newman 35, Country Day 7. Greenies with 2 touchdowns in 64 seconds to really break this one open.
You know, when you're playing a lot of man coverage and you're living and dying with man coverage, you know, as an offensive coach, you start drawing up stuff and saying, well, who's going to have this guy if we do this? Who's going to have this guy if we do this? And that's exactly what's going on over on Newman's sideline. So if you're looking at it from the defensive standpoint, you've got to say, all right, we want to bring pressure. Who's going to have that guy if he goes out? Who's going to have that guy if he motions across? If it's the guy that is blitzing that's got to have him, he can't blitz. It's that simple. They got to call it off. He's got to back out of his blitz. It's a numbers game. That's why we play with 11.
Simple math.
I got D's in math, buddy. But I was good at understanding eligible receivers, right? And knowing about 11. I could manage that. I couldn't do A squared plus B squared equaled what? C squared. Some theorem, right? Pythagorean?
Something like that. Kick goes
Bland on the return from the
back
1 yard
inside the
line.
5. Bland will run it out, try to make some men
Out to
miss,
the
and again,
21-yard line.
it's
Return
well
of 20
defended
yards.
this time
1st and 10 Country Day.
by the Greenies.
Have you noticed Newman hasn't kicked back over to number 1?
No, everything's gone either short or to the other side.
Right. That's respect for Evan Nunez. It's a game of respect. You learn quick.
So Country Day takes over here at the 21-yard line. What could be the final play of the third quarter. 13.1 seconds left on the clock. Down the seam. Caught.
Talbot's pass complete.
First down.
It's a gain of about 10 yards.
Nice route right there.
Yeah.
Vertical route.
Clayton Damon on the catch.
Right. By Damon right there. Big
And-
throws the
we've
ball
got-
up, and
we've
we've
got an
got
injured
someone
Cajun.
down. And I'm thinking that might be, could that be Talbot? He took a hit hard by a blitzing linebacker.
Reception is enough for a first down.
He stood right in there and delivered that ball to Damon. That was, excellent job by Talbot. I think that is Talbot.
Yeah, we do see another quarterback warming up now, and it's going to be Bland, who's a wide receiver, but is also the backup quarterback.
Hopefully he just got the wind knocked out of him. He's got all those rib protectors around him. It looked like he took the shot in the midsection. That'll knock the wind out of you real quick. He's going to have to come off the field any way you look at it for at least one play, which would, like you said, put Bland at quarterback.
Give him some time here. You let the third quarter run out, and he's going to walk off on his own. That's a good sign right there. Certainly feeling it, but
well, look,
walking off on his own.
Look, he's a warrior, right? Okay, he's taking shots tonight, and he's giving shots, right? And that's what high school football players do. They're warriors, and Talbot is a warrior, okay? And he'll be back in as soon as he catches his breath here. He's going to want back on the field.
They will wind the clock and likely run off the final 5.3 seconds of the quarter. At some point. Still waiting.
Well, Bland's had a nice night. He's caught a couple of balls, and now he gets to play a little quarterback for a down. He's a solid football player.
It's one of those things you got to be, when you've got the numbers, or lack thereof, that Guy LeCompte has, you got to have,
right?
Guys ready to play at multiple positions and stuff.
Exactly. It's like, shuffling the board real quick and throwing guys in there.
Still haven't wound the clock. I don't know if there's a problem with it. Now they're saying, okay, now let's run it now.
And I know.
And they will let it expire. They're looking at it, and that will do it here for the
third
quarter.
Now, I've been watching Newman's defense all night when Country Day's been giving them 3 wide receivers to one side or 2 wide receivers to one side, which is what they've been mostly doing out of their base formations. And when Newman stays in their 2-high package, okay, nobody's covering the number 2 receiver. I don't know if they were expecting the safety to come up and play him automatically, or if they're trying to drop and run a linebacker to his hip, which most of the night they haven't been doing. But that number 2 receiver has been running scot-free down either the seam or the middle of the field all night long, and I know Guy LeCompte has seen that.
Sure.
And it's killing him, and this is not a shot to Talbot at all, but it's just hard to get the ball to him there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about, playing within Talbot's reasoning. Look, he's a warrior now. He'll stand and he'll take a shot. He'll run the ball downhill and try to run you over. He'll play defense and take and give you a licking, right. He'll play on special teams. He doesn't want to come off the field. But hitting that 14-yard or maybe 18-yard seam route by that number 2 receiver is just not as good as it could be in his repertoire. But, Newman has not changed the way they've done things all night defensively.
All right, we switch ends. Fourth quarter set to get underway. Lonnie Van Gilder, Wade Kaiser, here with you from Old Metairie.
See, look at our number 2 receiver at the top of the screen. If you don't drop a line, oh, there it is. They rotated down to him.
And this is a Bland just running with it off the right side that time.
I'm getting to a lot of X's and O's here and things like that, but things like that jump out to me. How are they going to cover the number 2 receiver that's not covered? Well, Newman's answer right there was they rotated their secondary down to him and then went to a thirds look. They brought a safety down and rotated the other safety across the top. Disguising a coverage, as you would want to call it.
Talbot has a helmet on and is standing on the sidelines right now.
Taking a breather. It's a good chance to get your number 2 some reps also.
This is a 35-7 game at this point. Bland caught first down.
Nice ball by Bland. Nice square in right there. Dannon right there makes a nice route across the middle, and Bland puts it right on the money. Nice little arm right there. He's got that little 3/4 sidearm like he's turning 2 as a shortstop right there over to first base. It's got a nice quick release. Good protection right there by Country Day's offensive line that time.
So at the 49-yard line now. Bland lets it fly into double coverage, incomplete.
Throwing the China route that time. Short with the outside wide receiver, trying to take the number 2 receiver, put him into the corner against the coverage of number 2. Cover 2 of Newman. I'm sorry, I just couldn't get it out right there. The ball just had a little bit too much hot sauce on it, and he sailed the route. Receiver was open. That was number 2. Schwing was wide open. The ball just had a little bit off of it. They'd have connected on the China route or the smash route right there. Great concept, great read, again, by Guy LeCompte.
On 2nd and 10. Bland got his man Schwing. First down, Cajuns.
Okay, right there, they converted the China route or the corner route into a square in, and Bland puts it on the numbers.
From the Newman 30-yard line.
His first read should have been to the hitch down here at the bottom to number 5, which is Ridgeway. He's wide open. And then he went to the square in that time on a nice ball to Schwing. Schwing catches the ball. He's got a great set of hands.
So Country Day with a nice little drive going right now. They motion the back out. Tried the tunnel screen, and it's caught by Schwing. Up close to the first down.
Oh, Jack Swing's a nice little athlete now. He catches the ball in his punt returns as well as his kickoff returns. He does a nice job on the tunnel screen right there, gets behind the blocker. The ball's a little bit low. He digs it up, and he gets vertical and north and south and makes something happen. He's a tough kid. Again, real soft in the number 2 down at the bottom. Look, nobody's on Schwing, and they're not dropping they dropped the linebacker on him.
Taking a shot for the end zone. May have overshot him. No, it's caught in the back of the end zone for a touchdown.
Touchdown pass. Yash Gupta on the reception.
So Gupta on the catch. 22 yards for the touchdown from Bland. I thought when he let it go, Wade, that he had a little bit too much air underneath it, but put it right on the money in the back of the end zone.
Gupta was on a post route right there, runs right past the safety. The safety comes up and jumps the drag route. The drag route was being ran by Schwing, who was also open. The safety gets slipped by Gupta on the post route. Ball's delivered right there. Nice job, nice execution, nice route combination.
7 plays, 79 yards, 2 minutes and 45 seconds off the clock.
Somebody's not on the field. There's a problem with personnel. Second time we've seen this tonight.
Yep. On the extra point try. If somebody's supposed to be in there and is injured, or what the case may be, kick is good. So now, with 9:28 remaining, your new score is Newman 35 and Country Day 14. So if you're Guy LeCompte, you've got to be encouraged by what you just saw. Your starting quarterback gets knocked out, your backup comes in and engineers a drive.
Look, I like
showing his arm.
I like Bland. He's getting rid of the ball quicker. All right. He's not indecisive about where he's going to the ball, and I'm not saying Talbot wasn't, but you would think your second guy would have a little, indecision, right? No, boom, he's getting rid of the ball right now. Nice route combinations during that whole drive right there, getting it in his wide receivers that can make plays. I like Bland. I like his little three-quarter sidearm delivery there. He gets rid of the ball quick.
Came in with the ball at the 31-yard line, and he accounted for all 69 yards the rest of the way. Four with his legs and then 65 of it with his arm.
I want to get back to the scoring combination on the scoring play just for a second. Some people call it wide drag. I don't know what they call it here at Country Day, but swing drags at about 8, 10 to 12 across the middle. The safety saw it and jumped the drag route, which opened up the post right behind it for Gupta.
All right, so Newman has 9 men between the 45 and the 50-yard line, expecting an onside kick right here.
As they should.
Too deep.
As they should.
Try the onside kick, or do you try to, pop it up over the front line here if you can?
I like both. I like popping it up into the sky.
Well, he's going to kick it deep and knock it into the end zone for a touchback.
Well, he feels like his defense needs to go out there and get a stop.
Well, there's still 9 minutes and 28 seconds to play. You got to look. Did this game, I guess, 3 years ago at Lupin Field, where Country Day made a huge fourth quarter comeback. Those were the Cardiac Cajuns, undefeated regular season. In 3 games that year, they came back from double digits down in the fourth quarter. That was one of them.
Right. That was the night we saw Ibieta and Manning.
We didn't see Manning. I was not. This was. Arch was an 8th grader at that point.
Okay. Well,
but Ibieta was sensational that night.
Okay, and I saw it a year later with Ibieta and Manning.
Yes,
correct. That was it.
Speaking of Manning, he hands it off on first down. That will be Zurich on the carry.
3-yard gain. Second down, 7.
So if you're Nelson Stewart right now, the clock is your ally. You want to move the chains.
I'm running clock in between each play, but I'm not changing my offensive philosophy. If you understand what I'm saying. So in other words, I'm going to use the full 40 seconds to snap the ball. But if I get man blitz again, I'm going up top. I'm going to stay with my screen game. And I'm going to run downhill with Zurich and still run the zone reads with Manning. But I'm going to burn the 40 seconds in between each snap.
Clock will run again now. Second down and 2 at the 28. It's a long 2.
And that's what the check with me can do for you. You can control when you're going to snap the ball by giving the signal in. A little bit slower with the signal.
Play clock's not working here, which makes it a little more challenging in terms of trying to run the clock. Got a man down the sidelines, and it is caught and on the run as a flag is down. Hunter will go 72 yards for the touchdown, but let's see if this stands.
We got a flag down and we got a hat down. So the hat means that he probably went out of bounds.
And we've got an injured player as well, and that's Parrish Abramson, who was in coverage.
So let's see if the receiver was forced out of bounds. Let's see if the receiver went out of bounds. There's inside leverage. It's 0-man coverage. There's your blitz.
It's going to be defensive pass interference.
No, he did not go out of bounds.
That is declined. It is a touchdown. And even if he does, keep in mind, all you have to do is reestablish. It's not to just be the first. You could still be the first to touch the ball as long as you've reestablished.
but you'll see an official will drop his hat if he doesn't have a flag or prior to the flag if he's out of bounds. And then did he reestablish? But that's all moot here because it was on the secondary on Country Day, defensive pass interference, and there you go. They didn't get away from their game plan. They got 0 blitz coverage. They had the one-on-one outside. Manning took another shot, and the results are 7.
So Manning now with 242 yards through the air, and he's got 49 on the ground. He's accounted for all 4 Newman's second half touchdowns. Niesetz's kick is good, and with 8:19 to play here in the fourth quarter, your new score, Newman 42, Country Day 14. 3 plays, 80 yards, 1 minute and 9 seconds. Or check that, 2 plays. There was a penalty in there. 2 plays, 80 yards, 1 minute and 9 seconds. Newman, Wade, has now scored on 3 of its last 4 offensive snaps.
Well, they found the answer to the blitz at halftime, and they've executed their answers. That is the sign of a good football program and a sign of a good coaching staff. I mean, look, you can find the answers.
You still have to execute.
You got to execute them.
Well,
right?
well, when you got the number 1 rated player in the class of 2023 throwing the football out there, that's a good sign.
And he's got a nice group of receivers and a nice offensive line around him. And he's got the running of Zurich, too, which also helps him, too. You know, this Newman football team, I think, is in command of their destiny on the directions that they're going to go for the rest of the year. They're a great football team.
And look, they've got some key games down the road. They got to go to St. Charles Catholic in 3 weeks.
Always a big one.
Yeah. We got a team from Florida coming in 4 weeks. That's an ESPN game. It'd be interesting to see that. So we got a 15-yard penalty. Did the interference call get? Can you assess that on the kickoff?
I believe it might have been on the PAT.
Or maybe it was. Okay.
So
Newman will kick from the 45-yard line of Country Day here.
Well, whatever the question is here, Guy LeCompte wants some sort of explanation because I don't know if it was explained to him properly. Right. So I didn't see a signal. So that's the only thing I can think of as being the assessment of the penalty that had happened on the PAT.
What did you like to do in this situation for the 45? You want to just see how far your kicker can kick it and just like knock it out of the back of the end zone? Do you try to pop something up here?
I like an onside kick.
Of course, you've got a 28-point lead at this point.
Well,
if this is a
in most football games, if I had a 28-point lead, I'm putting that at the back of the end zone. If it was a tighter game, that sort of thing, and if I had it well into their territory where I was kicking off to them, I'd try some sort of. We always had something that was either surprise onside or some sort of planned onside. We always went into games with 2 different types of onside kicks. And it also depended on the ability of your kicker to be able to execute those onside kicks.
Which leads me into the story the first time we were here to do a game. I guess it was 2016. Nelson Stewart was on that sideline. Joe Chango was the head coach at Country Day. Scored. Had his kicker perfectly executed onside kick, squibbing in front of him 10 yards, and he fell on it. Went down and scored. Came back, ran the same onside kick again, recovered again, went down and scored. Country Day scored 21 points without Newman touching the football. Newman went 12 minutes and change without touching the ball. From the middle of the first quarter to the middle of the second quarter.
Well, that's classic Joe Chango.
That's
4 verticals right there.
That's it. Letting one fly and intercepted.
Pass intercepted.
And coming back the other way, that is Guillory.
See, that's where your backup quarterback just doesn't get all the reps he needs on those type of deep routes right there. Just maybe a little high, little float right there. The route was good. The route combination was superbly called. It's just the ball floats a little bit on it, and that's where the timing and the reps just don't get taken by your number 2 as much as your number 1. And it resulted into a Guillory interception.
So Newman's going to take over at the 21-yard line of Country Day. We mentioned they have scored on 3 of their last 4 plays from scrimmage. Manning will give it off. That's Zurich on the carry.
Tackle made by number 54.
Got about a yard.
Hagen Minless.
So both sides here, Wade. You could, the game is basically in hand at this point at 42-14, under 8 minutes to play. You obviously want to keep playing hard, but you're trying to maybe give some other guys a look at this point.
I'd get my number 2 ready at quarterback for Newman.
It looks like Newman's already got some backup linemen in the game.
They've got backup linemen in there. I'd get my number 2 quarterback in there, and I'm not telling Nelson what to do, but what I would have probably done is I would have probably brought in my number 2 quarterback, and I wouldn't be running my quarterback anymore.
Manning.
And it's Archie Manning on the carry. That time he got about 6.
And I know Nelson is going to probably watch this broadcast later, and I'm not. Look,
no, of course.
Nelson Stewart is one of the finest offensive minds and coaches in this city.
He does a great job, and look, he's been at this a long time. 16 years as a head coach at Newman. This will be win number 127. But a lot of that too is what does the quarterback see right there? If he sees what he sees,
that's zone read.
He is taught to do one thing.
That's zone read. But from that standpoint, you're asking me what I would have done philosophically wise. Right about now, I try to get some reps for my number 2 quarterback for the next 6 minutes or so, because those are very, very, very important. You never know down the line when your number 2 is going to have to come in and direct a drive, a winning drive, maybe a few drives to get you through a ball game, whatever the case may be. That's just my take on things. And we do have a few more guys that are in there. You're still seeing Zurich running the football right there, and they are burning clock.
As we head towards the 6-minute mark and what will be our final hydration break of the evening. Not sure if they'll snap it before then. They do. Zurich gets to the outside and in for the touchdown, his 3rd of the night. Ooh, we got right at the 6-minute mark. We got a Country Day player injured at the 3-yard line.
And those are things you hate to see, especially if you're a two-way player. Again, two-way players, you not only play offense, you play defense. That's 2 positions. Then what coverage teams? What kicking teams? So it could be 2 or 3 more positions when somebody goes down. And that's what Guy LeCon and I were talking about prior to the game tonight. He's just getting a handle on, so few guys on your roster and trying to keep people healthy and overcome injuries, because you just don't lose one position. You lose maybe 4. And that looks like...
That was Abramson, who was injured earlier. I believe that's 6, was injured earlier and went back in.
Right, looks like a cramp. They've got his toe up, and it looks like the same thing that had happened earlier when he was in that coverage and had that penalty on the pass interference.
Yeah, you worried about that the way it looked with the leg out, but...
Correct.
So I guess we get the hydration break before the extra point here, since the clock is now at 6 minutes.
And I never figured that one out. I didn't get that one. No.
Take it after the extra point if you want to.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's when you should do it. It should be like a TV timeout.
Sure.
Right after the extra point.
I agree.
Which, by the way, I hated TV timeouts. No offense.
Okay, let's try not to take too many.
I know.
And speaking of which, a reminder next Friday night, Tad Gormley Stadium, the 102nd meeting.
And we're
Jesuit and Holy Cross, and we will have a couple
TV timeouts.
We'll have some of those because not only will we be here on CrescentCitySports.com, you'll be able to watch it live on Cox Sports Television. I'll be down in the truck producing. Ken Berthelot will be in this seat alongside you.
That's going to be fun.
And our
can't wait.
Look, you've seen way more of those than I have. We've had the pleasure, this will be now 10 in a row, that we have broadcast on our variety of platforms over the years. Needs it to make it 49-14, and it is good.
Is good to score.
Well, it's going to be fun. It's going to be And I'll say it in the words of the athletic director, Dave Morrow, it's not just a game, it's an event.
It is an event.
All right, because I don't know if they're going to do the same thing if
a lot of what you missed last year.
Right, because of COVID. I don't know if they're going to do all of the things, but if they do, ladies and gentlemen, it is an event.
No doubt.
Parade, tailgating. One year they were talking about a flyover. I mean, it's from a coach's standpoint, it's out of control. But from a spectator standpoint and from the alumni standpoint, it is right on point, and it is done up extremely well by the folks at Holy Cross and the folks at Jesuit, and it's fitting for the rivalry that it is. I'm not talking about the flyover. Barry Wilson and I were sitting in a meeting during the summer with Holy Cross folks talking about all of the things that were going to go on with the Holy Cross Jesuit game that first year or second year. I can't remember what it was. And Barry and I sitting there looking at each other, and someone, and I can't remember who, brought up the idea of we're going to have a flyover. That's when Barry and I looked at each other and said, okay, it's time. It's time for us to get up and go to work. So we got up and went back to our respective schools and went back to work.
By the way, both teams need to make a second-half comeback tonight. Brother Martin leading Jesuit at halftime 7-0. That game's at Gormley. And on the West Bank, Shaw leading Holy Cross 14-0 at halftime.
Well, Shaw has an outstanding running back. I can't wait to see him. Hopefully we'll have one of their games down the road.
This is Moss on the return. Flag comes in from behind the play.
Turns out to the 30-yard line.
We're going to probably see that coming back with a hold.
Yeah, some kind of hold or block in the back, whatever it is. It's going to be from the spot of where the penalty happened, not from the end of the run. So this is going to back Country Day up even further. So, yeah, there's now, reminder, All-State Sugar Bowl scoreboard, CrescentCitySports.com, the place to get all of your scores.
Personal foul to call against the Cajuns. Block below the knees.
You can't do that either. It's a block below the waist is what it's called on Country Day, so it'll be backed up 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Yeah, a lot of great games going on tonight. That Easton Catholic High of Baton Rouge.
24-0 Catholic.
Should be a great game.
Catholic may be the best team any class in Louisiana.
They just might be. That's what I've heard. I haven't seen them yet this year.
Good one at Yenny tonight. Rummel leads Calvary 14-7 at halftime.
From the 12-yard line.
Ponchatoula over Covington 7-3 at halftime. You can see Ponchatoula getting back on the field. So Country Day beginning here at the 12-yard line. Shot down the middle of the field, caught, room to run, midfield, could he outrace the secondary? 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown. Schwing goes 88 yards on that pass from Bland.
Schwing ran right past the safety on the hash mark on a post route, and Bland put it on the money. Look, Schwing's a fine little wide receiver. Boy, he's got some wheels too after he catches the ball. Look at him run right past the safety right there. Safety had his feet in cement. Just ran right past the safety. The safety didn't even move his feet. Ball on the money, touchdown, Country Day. Look, I like Bland.
For the extra point.
I mean, Lenny, he's got a nice little delivery. That this is something that Guy LeCompte will look back at this film and start going, is there a possibility here that I could take this guy and turn him into doing some of the things that I want done with the football, the way he likes to stretch the field vertically?
Gives you certainly some different looks out there. Now look, Talbot, took a shot, right. Left this game. He threw 3 touchdown passes in the second half, nearly led him back to victory last week against Episcopal.
And Talbot's solid. Talbot now. Talbot is a solid quarterback, but he's also a really good linebacker.
But here's the thing, especially when you're dealing with what Guy has to deal with. You got to find a way to get the best 11 players on the field, whatever that is, at whatever position that is.
No doubt. And the thing I like about Talbot is you can also use him in the backfield.
Sure.
He can run the ball downhill, and now you have more of a 1-2 strike with Isaacs and Talbot running the ball downfield, and with Bland at quarterback. And I know this is just me talking, but Guy LeCompte will figure it all out.
Sure.
He's really good at what he does. But what another weapon you could have back there in the backfield, or using Talbot maybe at some sort of Y type of formation as far as a tight end is concerned, getting him involved on the field that way too. Look, Talbot is a very, very good athlete. He can be used in a lot of places on offense, and he is an outstanding linebacker.
Once again, kicking it deep, and that will bound into the end zone for a touchback. So with 5:34 to play, Newman takes over at its 20-yard line. We'll see what Nelson Stewart does at this point in terms of maybe getting some guys out of there. Talbot, by the way, was in there covering that kick. So that gives you an idea. It shows you what kind of trooper he is.
Oh, look. He's a war daddy. That's what you call a war daddy. A guy that makes tackles, a guy that can run the football, throw the football, and then covers kicks. That's what you call a war daddy. And he does he's a fine athlete. And I'm sure he's a multi-sport athlete, as most of the kids are that play football here at Country Day.
A lot of them here, no doubt about it. So Manning remains in the game at quarterback. Will give it away on first down. This is Zurich. Ooh. And
Bill Zurich on the carry.
Gets it out.
Gain of 9 on the play.
Right near the first down marker.
Lenny, I didn't like that tackle by that Country Day defender out there. I think that was Parrish Abrams. I'm not for sure. Yeah. Did you see the way he ducked his head right there?
Yeah. And the running back did the same.
Right,
that's a scary situation.
That's a scary situation. And I'm surprised if they're going to call targeting, and there's no targeting in high school, but what they do is they call personal foul helmet to helmet. That if they're trying to teach the rule right and assess it right, that should have possibly been a flag on that play.
Well, there's a little RPO action from Archie Manning, and that is complete.
Made by number 13, Johnny Manson.
That's a new wide receiver in the game, Johnny Manson on the catch, and that's going to move the chains.
That's the RPO right there. Again, it's triple option football.
Just a different look.
Just a different look, and it's done a different way. But it makes you have to be assignment sound. And if you're blitzing all over the place, somebody doesn't have somebody. You're running right past it. Somebody doesn't have the quarterback, somebody doesn't have the running back, and somebody doesn't have a receiver.
That's a new quarterback in the game now.
T. Williams run out of bounds.
It's still T. Williams in the game. We get a look now is that the Eli Friend is taking over a quarterback.
Eli Friend, number 12. Going to get some reps in for the last 4 minutes of this football game, which is good to see.
So a gain of 3 for Williams. Friend will keep it.
Tackle made by.
That's your zone read option or your RPO option, however you want to call it again. They had a wide receiver sitting out there as being the threat to have the ball thrown to. Quarterback decided to keep the ball. You'll take a look at it off of the inside zone fake right there. Dive. Quarterback keep. And had a pitch or a throw to option out there on the flank. For our folks at home that are watching and wanting to know what zone read option's all about, or RPOs. RPOs can come in many, many, many different forms.
And on the give, nice job by the Country Day defense there, stacking up. I mean, the running back, Williams, short of the first down. They gave it forward progress to maybe the 40.
The RPO thing is all the rage now. I mean, you're even seeing it on Sundays. I mean, Joe Brady, is a king of RPOs, and we saw it last week, right? I mean, it's all the rage, and it's coming all the way down to the high school level, and it comes out in different forms. What it does is it really puts a lot of a lot of pressure on your defenses on how to defend the field.
So on 4th and short, Newman's going to punt the football away. And flag is in from the back side of the play as the return.
Out to the 40-yard line, 12-yard return. Flag down.
Well, that's going to come back, probably a block in the back right there.
Yeah, indeed it is against the Cajuns. See where they spot this, or where they mark the penalty, I should say.
That's a killer.
You get a return out near the 40-yard line. You remember we saw it earlier. They were going to get the ball at the 45-yard line, and then the penalty set them back to the 30.
Right. Yeah, that's just tough.
So this is going to put it back at the 29-yard line.
A lot of times when you get those blocks in the back or block below the waist like they had on a kickoff earlier, it's just self-discipline. You're taught, you're coached, you practice that type of stuff. You got to have self-discipline to not make that block.
So started at the 29. I'm trying to get to the outside here, but it's well defended this time.
3 yards.
That was Aiden Sinnett, the junior running back.
New running back in the game. Not a lot of new jerseys now for Country Day. A lot of new jerseys on defense for the Newman Greenies. It's good that these guys get in the game. They practice hard.
Sure.
Every day. It's a great chance to get them on the field to get some reps, and it's good to come in on Saturday mornings and see yourself on film, or go to Crescent City Sports and look at the film replay, and see yourself on film.
Pass is off the fingertips of the receiver and intercepted. And that was DJ Thomas on the interception. And I believe that is the 5th turnover tonight for Country Day. And that is, the biggest story of this game, possibly, in terms of,
Correct.
Who wins, who loses this game. You got a -5 turnover margin.
Can't win that
You're
one.
basically at nil at that point, trying to win the game.
Right. They were -2 last week against Episcopal, -5 tonight. It's tough to win that way, especially against a team as talented as Newman. But look,
but you got to be encouraged by some of the things that Country Day did tonight. Not unlike last week. You just what Guy Lecomte needs to do is piece it all together for a full 48 minutes or close to it, as opposed to 12 or 24 minutes, whatever the case may be.
And he will. He will piece it all together, and he'll get them back on track, and that's what good football coaches do.
Take a knee. Loss of 4.
So, but there are some encouraging things tonight. Honestly, I like Bland at quarterback.
I think he certainly gives you another option to consider in all of this. There's no doubt about that.
Next thing, I think they have a very, very fine running game. I think Isaacs and Talbot, those two guys running downhill, are a problem for teams. They're steady up front. They do a nice job with their offensive line. They came in with a game plan. They executed a defensive game plan of blitzing, and for the first half, it had Newman kind of scratching their head until they adjusted in the second half.
Some good adjustments.
Right. So, this is a good football team, and down the line, they're going to win a lot of, a bunch of games. And I know Guy Lecomte, as good of a football coach he is, with a good staff, he'll have these guys back on track in no time.
And that will do it, as the clock will run down. Both teams heading back to their benches to shake hands.
Newman 49, Country Day 21.
And Newman, the third-ranked team in Class 2A in the Crescent City Sports Rankings this week, did nothing to dispel that this evening with a 49-21 victory over Country Day. Wade, your final thoughts on what we saw tonight?
Well, I think Newman is in control of their own destiny. Like you said, they've got a couple of big ones coming down the road, with St. Charles and I think you said maybe
they got a team coming in from Florida.
but they've got the athletes in the right place. They definitely have one of the most outstanding coaching staffs in the city. These guys adjusted at halftime. They made great adjustments. Nelson Stewart and his offensive staff had the answers to come out. These guys are in control of their destiny, and I think they're only looking at sunny skies ahead.
Well, Wade, it's been a pleasure on a beautiful night out in Old Metairie to take this one in. Our thanks to Wade Kaiser, to Chip Merritt, and to Matt Merritt. Once again, your final score tonight, Newman 49, Country Day 21. And a reminder, next Friday night, 7 p.m. right here on Crescent City Sports and on Cox Sports Television, we've got the 102nd meeting between Jesuit and Holy Cross. Until then, I'm Lenny Van Gilder. Again, that final 49.